Oh, hello. This is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine, aka Vulcan Wolverine 2. I hope everybody's doing okay tonight, today, tonight, in these last horrific weeks. A lot of good stuff's going on though, so I don't want to be completely depressed. But I do want to talk about something pretty horrible. Um, I'll wait for some people to get into chat. Hey, Ann, how are you doing? Ann says, hello, Kyle. I'm not doing too good. And I'll tell you why. Like, it's kind of the title of the video. I found out about this Beltane because, and let me just tell you this. I'll wait a second to tell everybody the story. And hey, Sheila says, hey, Kyle, Rev 311 Micron says, how's it going, Kyle? What do you say why do you say these last weeks? It's been really bad these last weeks. What I really mean is like since the start of the pandemic stuff in America and other countries, just the whole thing, just the whole lockdown, the quarantine, the social separation, and all those things. That's kind of what I mean by it, but it's really been more than just last week's. But that's kind of what I mean. Um, hey, Jared. Jared says, hey, Kyle. Eddie Morin. Hey, Eddie. And hey, Slack. How you doing? I guess there's enough people in here, and I just hope y'all are all doing well. I last night, or really yesterday, I started getting hit really hard with my target. It's pretty much always pretty bad, but it's kind of like they're doing a lot of the remote neural manipulation, some external hits. But yesterday it got really bad. Like they were hitting me with an external hit right in the neck right here, and like I couldn't even like just blurred vision. It was really bad. And this guy next door, the guy next to me doing the noise campaign, just every time I'd walk by the bathroom, he's like hitting on the wall and running the water and stuff like that. And I was like, why is it seems to be at an intensified level, like a really intensified level. And I said, what's going on here? Because it's always bad, but like I'm kind of using defenses, they're buffering it out, but they really started punching through yesterday. And so I was kind of like watching some videos, and the guy from AMTV, although I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, and he's selling a lot of stuff, he mentioned that it was a ritual time for Satanists. For Satanists, it's this time, from like the 18th and 19th is preparation for a ritual, and then till May the 30th, and May, June, like till May 30th is this ritual time of Beltane. So I started looking into it. I'm going to show you guys some of it, and it kind of just it adds another level of evidence for me, because I'm always like, oh well, my attackers, I don't think they think of themselves as Satanists, they're Masons or whatever, but it's like they are during this time of Beltane hitting me a lot harder, cooking me a lot harder. Then guess what I saw, guys? Then guess what I saw? People are talking about these fires in Texas. There's already been a gas leak fire, and then a chemical plant explosion. Two separate fires in Texas over today and yesterday. So these are huge red flags. It's a ritual time for these Satanists, and a lot of people in the cabal are in this death cult, the satanic timeline. I hope already fires and stuff like that, and I hope you guys aren't getting targeted any harder, but like I'm getting targeted a lot harder. And hey, nobody says, what's up, brother? Sheila says, yes, it has, and these couple of days have been worse last night and today. Yeah. As I think our attackers, most of them are Satanists or Masonic, and this is a time for them. And I'll read to you guys about this ritual time, and it's from really from May 19th, from today, but I think they start a little bit earlier, and it's this pagan ritual. It's a very important pagan ritual time, kind of like for Christians, it would be like Christmas or Easter would be a really important time. This is one of those satanic ritual times that's super important to them, along with like Samhain and all that stuff, all that junk, all that pagan junk where they're like, yeah, we're celebrating the harvest and celebrating fertility by sacrificing human beings. So scumbags. So they're scumbags. So they're like evil and stupid and they're scumbags because they're evil and they think that killing people is okay and good for the earth or something like that. Sheila says, I heard B2K say that they're going to come from downstairs and get me and my family. Please pray for us. Hopefully that's just a psyop, Sheila. But I've been getting hurt way bad. Where 0012 says your videos really helped me out. That's great. I'm glad. I'm really glad where says spring equinox, Easter, and now it's like the summer solstice or something like that. Or let me read this stuff to you guys because I don't really know about any of this stuff. And I just heard like I started getting hit a lot harder, and they were like trying to, like, I couldn't breathe, and they were just shooting me in the neck, and then they were doing the internal, like, remote neural manipulation, vagus nerve stimulation, so just like to where I was stumbling around my condo, and I was like, my vision was blurry, and I was like almost losing consciousness. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why are they just amping everything up right now? They're shooting me. It's like, shoot, it's a heat to the side of my head. Slack TI says, I'm sure with the protest, they'll concoct a good old FF to get people back inside. Yeah, so good. There's good stuff, a lot of protest, a lot of activism. Brian from High Impact Vlogs, and a lot of people are showing these protests. I think I'm going to start focusing on that really positive stuff. But I'm also, y'all know I've said it before, I'm kind of worried because it seems like they have AI to help them figure out how to do all these FFs and the pandemic. And so they predict what humans are going to do. And I'm a little bit worried that it's trying to split people into like protesters and people going against the stuff, and then half of the people saying we need to follow the rules and things like that. I just get worried that it's like targeting anything we do to fight back. They're going to try and funnel it back into their plan. But we still have to do the good stuff, we still have to protest and fight back. It's just a, huge evil system, And Carlisle says it's not going to end well for them. Yeah, in the end, evil, karma gets evil, and they go into the lake of fire. Hey, Jennifer. Rev 311 Micron says, I'm 100% alone. Entire family besides little brother and sister mind controlled to think I'm crazy and constantly harass me with neighbors and perps. All I have is Christ. Tired but not giving up. Yeah, me too, Rev 311. A lot of my family thinks I'm mentally ill, but I try and just connect with them on other things, and then my mom kind of knows that it's going on. Your family might just think you're mentally ill and they're mean to you for that reason. If you're like talking about this a lot, if they think you're mentally ill, they'll think that you're selfish. They'll think that you're selfish and mentally ill because, this is a huge issue and it's really happening to us. But they may be like, oh, they're being so mentally ill and selfish and just like trying to say all this stuff that's not really happening. And they may get mad for that reason and not be trying to do evil stuff to you on purpose. But some families know, Infinite the Illusionist says, I figured out that they can collaboratively predict every level of the pandemic via AI. That's my problem. I'm just like, man, they had to predict that the people are going to protest and people are going to start standing up because we see how the system does things. But hopefully things won't go as they plan and more people will step up, to do the right thing. And there will be a lot of things that they don't plan on, and then we'll push them back. I don't know. I mean, we've just got to do our best. So much money involved, and they've already done so much stuff over the years where nobody really spoke up for us or believed us. That kind of just makes me angry. I'm like, people are talking about like, yeah, now's the time to stand up, and we really got to speak out. And it's like, targeted individuals have been talking about being murdered in our homes for years and years and years, and nobody gives a crap because it's not happening to them. But now, since it's happening to, this draconian stuff's happening all over the world, people are like, oh, it's coming down now. But the New World Order has been here and murdering people in their homes in this way that people don't notice it, right? Like kind of like, and they do this a lot. The James True was talking about the Passover ritual, and I really, I felt like, yeah, that's really going to happen. Then I saw a video from it, and this isn't insulting James True or anything like that, but he was like, yeah, and I've kind of got to suck it up that I was wrong. And I was like, what are you talking about? You weren't wrong. They did a Passover ritual. Those tornadoes and weather warfare all along the South and the East Coast, that was their Passover ritual. It did happen. But like it happened in such a way, right? Weather, so that some people were like, didn't even notice it, didn't even notice their Passover ritual. And now they have fires, 2 separate fires in Texas. And well, I guess I'm worried again that they're thinking they went soft on the weather warfare for Passover ritual because they're going to celebrate this Beltane thing, because in this cabal and the people in control of America and other countries, they're in this cabal and they're in this death cult where they think that humanity is the virus. Like it's crazy. And they're doing these things that they think are going to save. Like my attackers do it all the time. They do this Captain Planet song, and it bubbles up in my inner voice, and then they'll sing along with it in V2K. They think that they're doing all this evil to save the planet or something like that. Sick cult. It's a sick cult. Jared says, Kyle, I'm worried about you. I will pray for your health. Sorry they are hitting you like that. Thank you, Jared. I'm gonna be okay. I mean, I'm just gonna fight and do my best. I don't know what all this the microwaves and the remote neural manipulation have done to me in the long term. So I'm just gonna try and fight tyranny as much as I can with my YouTube channel. And I'm thinking about like if there's something like a protest around here, I might go out. But just try and enjoy life as much as we can with this stuff. It's hard to be happy and have joy and be like, well, I'll just enjoy life when we've got these huge satanic rituals and the New World Order coming in to depopulate people. And it's like, that's going to have to be our life fighting that. Like if you're a good person. So it's like, how do you just say, well, I'm just going to focus on my life and, try and have some relationships and hang out with my parents and just not worry about it. It's hard to do. It's hard to just enjoy your life with such big things going on. So I'm trying to find a way to find a balance, Yeah, Presidential on a Beat said noise canceling hearing aids. I really, really recommend those guys. Presidential on a Beat says, hey Kyle, I wanted to ask you if you think the bone conduction headphones are better or the noise canceling headphones. Well, the thing is, Presidential on a Beat, I have the bone conduction headphones, but I haven't used them much. I would say they're a priority over the bone conduction headphones because you can just put them in and like still hear stuff. You don't have to like find a time to listen to music. Like if you want to do other things, I would say they're the more convenient, better result than paying in frequency like Dave Case's CD, the noise canceling hearing aids, or if you don't have those, the pleasing music. Now the bone conduction headphones work. I just haven't used them a lot. As much as I want to. Yeah. Jared Ritter says, trying to make videos that are not about targeting and more about what is happening in America. I've thought about that. I've, thought about how to balance making YouTube videos. A lot of people are talking about, but it's like we've been, I don't know, I've been fighting this targeting thing for years and years and years, and now it's like, oh, now it's time to fight. No, I've been fighting for like a decade. I've been getting tortured for like 2 decades, and I'm like so tired. I mean, I'm gonna do stuff. I'm gonna do something about it, but it's like I'm worn out. Been fighting for a cause, and now it's like, oh, haha, here you go. Here's like all this tyranny. Here, deal with this. And like we were kind of getting close to people knowing about this, but this is such a integral, like central problem to everything that's going on. But people are going to have to deal, the drones can see, right, deal with this, and then the very important, like, underlying illness, right? There's an underlying illness of these programs. These experimental torture programs, and the all these contractors and agencies tapping into people's brains that make it harder, and they're learning more about human beings and how they react. And we really need to get to that underlying illness so things will be easier. But people, no pun intended, but not really dealing with the integral underlying issues like a doctor would do, right? For your health. If you have cancer and you have headaches and you're just taking Tylenol, right? Because to get rid of your headache, but you have cancer, you have like a tumor in your head, and you're just taking Tylenol, and you're like, oh, that helps the headache. But there's this huge tumor that you've got to get excised from your head to ever have a chance at beating the cancer, right? David Irwin says, forced speech from children disturbs me more than most of what they're doing to me, except for the fake and ugly thoughts they had me thinking after days of dream ahead. It's like artificial, and we just have negative emotions, right? But then they're using remote neural manipulation to put negative visuals and negative inner voice stuff. It's a battle. You gotta attenuate some of it, so then you can fight with your willpower and your high frequency. Yeah, Gibber says it's not the virus, it's what's really going on. Man, they use this hoax. I think that a lot of people are thinking like COVID-19, and it's this whole earth is making people try and clear out this toxin, right? And so some of the people actually are testing for something like COVID-19, but then they're hoaxing it with a lot of other deaths from other things. So it's all these things combine to create this huge pandemic FF. But even if there was like the CV-19 thing, and it was caused by 5G, even if that was true, it's never an excuse to close down businesses. That's ludicrous. That's ludicrous, and people are coming out to fight it. So that's a very positive thing. Yeah, Slack TI was just saying that to Kyle today. This is great for corporations. Yeah, like monopolies. Walmart, McDonald's, cell phone companies, Amazon, Apple. There's a strategy behind every single one, especially insurance companies. Oh yeah, so many angles for them to make money and take land and property, and to manipulate the economy, to really screw over regular people in the system. But the big dogs, the monopolies, just cleaning house, to buying, because they have so much money to play with the markets and everything. It's really a transfer. It's more of a transfer, because they've been doing this over years, right? A transfer of knowledge, a transfer of wealth, a transfer of land. Like, and you can see what wealth would be like housing and land and everything, but it's like this land grab, this just trying to grab anything that's valuable and take it away from the public and make us more slaves in the make us more slaves in a serf class, like a serf class. They want that again. So I don't know, man. Such a big system. Hey, Lily. Yeah, David Irwin says, "Welcome to the United Serfdom of America and the world." Yeah. Let me show you this, guys. Ann says, "Might have to start a new one called blacking out lag." Yeah, my attackers are definitely going to freeze this one up. They might freeze this one up to where it cuts out, because I'm talking about rituals, like Masonic rituals and stuff like that. And they really want me, like the thing about Q, they didn't care. No, they did. They froze that up. My last one didn't freeze up so much. It was about the cleansing and stuff like that. But if I talk about stuff like, because as Masons, they, I guess, feel this weird cult feeling that they have to like keep things a secret or something like that. But then on the other hand, like I hear a lot of people talking about how we're all being initiated, like the public's being initiated into the knowledge of the blah, whatever, that stupid stuff. But it seems like my attackers, like anything that's sacred to them, they try and like, cut me out and stall it, Mo Smith says open stores might be a better idea instead of protesting. But yeah, the problem with that, like, and I see Brian from High Impact Blogs and a lot of other people saying it's open, everything's open, and everything's open, and we don't need to go protest and beg, right? Because that means we're like slaves on a plantation begging our slave owner to give us better conditions, when we should just leave the plantation or revolt. But the deal is, and hey Wayne, but the deal is here, it's like there are consequences for that, right? So the guy, the barber who wanted to open his business, they were like, we're going to fine you and arrest you, and we're going to fine and arrest everybody who comes to your barber shop. So there are consequences, right? So let me give you this, and I'm not trying to bust Brian at High Impact Vlogs balls. I love him. I think he's doing so much more than anybody, right? But he's saying, you need to just do what you want to do and be free, right? You need to just open your businesses, right? But then he's on YouTube and he's watching words that he says. He's self-censoring and stuff like that, because if he doesn't, he'll lose his YouTube channel. So we've got to take that, and then we've got to say, like, somebody just goes back to their business and does not follow the regulations, these fake regulations that they're pushing, they're going to be arrested and they're going to be fined, right? People pay their taxes not because like it's really legit and it's under the Constitution. They do it because there's consequences to not doing it. And so what these people, they're saying, well, just open your business and stuff like that. And if the law gives you any problems, we'll take care of it. We'll have people there. But there's no way that they can go out and protect them all. So it's a complicated issue where it's hard, like all these issues are very, very complicated, and it's hard not to be, I hate saying the word hypocritical. I love Brian, like I'm not even insulting him, but you see the thing there that he's saying, you need to just do whatever you want to do, and you need to just go to work and everything like that. But then he's on YouTube watching his words so that he can still make money on YouTube. So, and I'm not trying, like, everything's so complicated. So I'm not like, oh, he's such a hypocrite and a bad person. I'm just saying, look at that situation. You can't just do whatever you want, because then the police are gonna, try and arrest you and hurt you even more. You'll be set back even more. And it's like, oh yeah, I should have been able to open my business. And the police will be like, well, we've got to enforce these regulations. That this whole, I think the best way is to protest and to push back with big numbers, because that's just the complication of the problem there. It's like, it's cool to say, yeah, you should just be able to do whatever you want, and let's all back each other up. But people aren't going to really, yeah, if you get into groups, then you're there for each other. But that's like, if you open your business and you get arrested, I guarantee you nobody's going to be coming running to get arrested with you. And I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to say anything bad about Brian, and he does a great job, but I'm just saying, like, if he thinks that you should just be able to do whatever you want, why doesn't he just say whatever words that he wants? And I'll tell you why, because he needs to stay on YouTube, and he needs to make a living, and he needs to tell people the truth. So it is compromise. Like, I don't see any other way to, there are consequences. Like, if you don't compromise, and you've got to be ready for those consequences, is all I'm saying. You know, Brian, I don't know his last name, Wayne, but he's from High Impact Vlogs, and everybody should go check him out. He's doing a great job. And I'm not saying that as a gotcha thing. I'm not trying to get him. I'm just saying it's kind of ironic sometimes to me that he's like, why are people going and protesting? They should just go back to their business. But then he's like, ooh, I said COVID-19. Like, and I don't understand. I'm just like, you don't understand why people are compromising, because if they don't, they can't have their jobs, and they get fined a bunch of money and get thrown in jail. It's these consequences that people are reacting to, not the way that things should be. Things should be where we get to do what we want as free men and women, right? But then there's a complicated system of consequences, and that's what these people have power over us, with the consequences, not with the rules that really don't follow the Constitution. It's those consequences that back that fake stuff up, real world consequences, and you get into a lot of trouble, even though it's not legitimate, right? I wish I wouldn't have said that, because I love Brian. I'm just like, I say that in my head a lot. I'm like, he's watching his words, and doesn't he understand? Doesn't he understand how complicated it is? Because he has to do it too. And it's good when he's like, yeah, everybody just needs to go. You just go back to work. Everything's open. But they're gonna slam you to a wall. They're gonna slam you to a wall and put you even further back than you were already with this isolation lockdown nonsense. But it's, you know, it's a complicated situation. So I'm not judging anybody. It's a complicated situation. We've all just got to do the best that we can, and he is. And Brian from High Impact, he is doing the best he can. Drunken Ninja says, anyone know Dr. Robert Duncan's social media? I think he has a Facebook. I think it's just Robert Duncan. I don't know. Hey Jeff, what's up, man? Jeff, so check out Jeff O's channel. Wayne Morris has been putting out tons of awesome stuff. So Jeff O, Wayne Morris, Drunken Ninja has a Discord. And if you do have something that you're doing, like a channel or something, please put it in chat. What's up, Cheryl? Let me show you guys this thing. Let me show you guys this stuff. So Beltane. I started getting hit a lot of a lot harder yesterday, and I was wondering why. And it is the time of Beltane from the 18th. And I hate showing this stuff. I'm not celebrating this junk. I'm just showing y'all. It's sickening. You see these, a Beltane bonfire at Butzer Ancient Farm, Beltane bonfire at WEHEC 2015. And it's a pagan time of ritual. Look, see, Beltane is a Gaelic May Day festival. Most commonly, it is held on the 1st of May. Oh, it's April. I was saying May a while back. Okay, so everything I said is like April 18th or 19th to like May 1st. I was saying May earlier, like the end of May, because I don't know what month I'm in. Okay, so is held on 1st of May, or about halfway between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. So it's like in between the spring equinox and the summer solstice, like right, it's like the opening of summer for them or something like that, for their summer solstice. Historically, it was widely observed throughout Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. In Irish, the name for the festival day is La Beltane. In Scottish Gaelic, Le Beltane, And in Manx Gaelic, Lebonland is one of the 4 Gaelic seasonal festivals, along with Samhain. And Samhain's like Halloween, right? Imbolc and Lughnasadh, and is similar to the Welsh Calan. I want to make fun of this stuff because it's just stupid. It's all stupid, and like anybody who's in the death cult who wants to get mad at me, just go ahead and get mad at me. You heard me, attackers. Just get mad at me. I don't care. Like, I'm a good person, and I'm a Christian, and I hate satanic stuff, and I hate pagans, and I hate anybody who celebrates anything by murdering babies. Let me show you guys this. Hold on, I'll show you something really ridiculous that'll get you guys really mad. Made me super mad in a second. Let me open up my chat so I can read y'all's comments. I gotta plug this in. Huh? So y'all notice, right? Y'all notice these fires they're shown on this Wikipedia article. They do this fire ritual during Beltane, and there's these mysterious fires, not just one, but 2. And I bet you'll see some more fires all over the country and other countries. You're going to see these spontaneous fires that were caused by accidents. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So I'm gonna show me. Yeah, what Mo said. Rev 311 Micron says, honestly, wish I was adopted so I wasn't related to the people I'm supposed to call family. I think a lot of people feel that way. Yeah, you just got to find a good family. Like, you got to find people that you love in the world that can be your new family, you know, if your family's not good to you. I think that's the best way. Yeah, it's like the guy says, Wayne, you're seriously killing in the info game. Good job. Yeah, guys, Wayne is putting out some awesome videos. Sleeping Beauty says, I was just doing some research in an Oxford University spinoff company, Vaxitech, is working on a CV vaccine. They are funded by Google Ventures. Oh my. Oh, wow. Yeah, Google and YouTube are connected to all these huge corporations in the military industrial complex. See, and like I'm pretty much like I'm a hypocrite for using YouTube, right? I'm trying to get out the truth and go against the military industrial complex, but I'm using a platform that really belongs to them, and they censor it and control it as they like. I mean, it's the best we can do, right? We've got to do the best we can do, but we're all dependent on the system. I hope that wasn't too insulting to Brian at High Impact Vlogs. It's just something I thought of, and I love him, and like he does a great job. And so I'm not trying to get on him or anything. Like he's giving people so much information, and I'm not trying to. So I'm just saying, you know, I think we should all understand sometimes that, like, because we all do it. Anybody, even people who fight for the most freedom ever and they're off the grid, they're still dependent on the system in certain ways. And so it makes it complicated. It makes it a complicated fight. But I love Brian, you know. I think he's super smart, super smart. Um, and he can't just say whatever words he wants, right? Because he's getting out such useful information that if he's just like, well, I'm free and I'm just going to say whatever word, then he might lose his YouTube channel and his ability to tell people a lot of important truths, right? So I mean, everybody kind of, I guess, compromise. I guess that's my point, is that this is just complicated, and the people protesting aren't really begging for their rights back. They're responding to a complicated system where they want to get their lives back. They want to, you know, and not get thrown in jail and fined. And there's not really enough people who are gathered up. Well, there's a lot of people gathered up protesting, but like, say you just wanted to, I'm just going back to work in some of those states where you'll get arrested. Are there really going to be people there to back you up if that happens, or are you just going to get arrested? Like if it was the case where people would really be there, then it could work. then it could work, right? So I think that's what Brian's point is. We need to group up and take care of each other, and then say, you know, F you to the system. I'm definitely not trying to, like, you know, criticize him. I'm just not criticizing him. Wayne Moore says, I don't believe the bot thing. I think like those guys like Tom and Tim and stuff like that, those may be bot accounts where they're doing certain things. But I don't think like in my chat room there's tons of bots or anything like that. Not that speak like human beings, right? It would be something where they like put something in the comments that just is the same thing every time. If you got something speaking on a lot of different subjects, it's a real human being. You know, that's what I think, at least. I think it exists, but not in the way that Brian 2 says. Yeah, Rev 31 Micron says Chief is a paid troll. Yeah, I agree. I think he's a cyber-placed agent. He's actually like ex-military, and he's knows a lot about social media and stuff like that. And he's like paid to do what he does, and then he kind of lathers up a bunch of other trolls who may not be paid to do it, and then they kind of they'll attack targeted individual channels. APB, hey APB, that's my attacker saying hello, hacking into my tablet. APB says, Wayne, do you ever pull a vid or mark it private? This is really weird. Hey, Ray, I'm doing, well, I'm doing okay. I'll just be positive. I got hit really hard yesterday and yesterday night, and I wasn't sure what was going on because it was way more intense. And it's like hitting my neck so hard with external hits, like they had pumped it up past my defenses, and my defenses would attenuate it back, but they were just pumping it, like they were manually making sure that external hit could hit my neck while they were doing all the remote neural manipulation stuff. And then I found out, I was like, I went into Google because I heard AMTV say like it was something like there's some kind of ritual going on. It's a ritual time. So what I did is I went into Google and I said satanic rituals during the month of April, and it was like from the 19th to the end of May. No, I did it again. To the end of April. The beginning of May is like this Beltane ritual. So Beltane is mentioned in some of the earliest Irish literature and associated with important events in Irish mythology. Also known as Set Shemanhain, first of summer. It marked the beginning of summer. It is and listen to this. And what was when cattle were driven out to the summer pastures. Rituals were performed to protect the cattle, crops, and people, and to encourage growth. Special bonfires were kindled, and their flames, smoke, and ashes were deemed to have protective powers. The people and their cattle would walk around or between the bonfires and sometimes leap over the flames or embers. All household fires would be doused and then relit from the Beltane bonfire. These gatherings would be accompanied by a feast, and some of the food and drink would be offered to AOC. Doors, windows, beeries, and livestock would be decorated with yellow May flowers, perhaps because they evoked fire. So we need to look for yellow flower symbolism. We need to look for fire symbolism. These fires in Texas, we need to look for those things and become aware of these awful death cult rituals and pray against them as Christians and just as good spiritual people. I don't know why I don't see everybody talking about these fires in Texas in this time of Beltane on social media. Maybe I'm missing it. Richie from Boston, if you're watching this, please do a video on this. Everybody do a video on this. In parts of Ireland, people would make a May bush, typically a thorn bush or branch decorated with flowers, ribbons, bright shells, and rushlights. Holly wells were also visited. While Beltane dew, it's kind of ironic right there, was thought to bring beauty and maintain youthfulness. Many of these customs were part of May Day or midsummer festivals in other parts of Great Britain and Europe. Like, have you guys seen that movie Midsummer? and it's like that, the ritual of killing people as a fertility ritual. Well, this is kind of like, it's kind of like what Beltane is like. I'm going to read y'all from these disgusting websites. These are disgusting websites that I don't I don't whatever. I don't promote. I'm not saying they're good. I'm just trying to take the information from them. So we're actually going to right now go to this go to this thing. This thing here, this religious tolerance website, and I'll put these in my description, but it's like talking about satanic holidays as viewed by conservative Christian authors. I'm not even going to read that first paragraph, but you come down here and look. See, April 21st to 26th, preparation for the sacrifice. April 21st to 29th, preparation for time for sacrifice. April 26th, grand climax. April 30th is Beltane. I guess these are different religions or different satanic cults and what they practice. April 30th, Walpurgisnacht. April 30th, solstice. May 1st, the grand climax. I guess it's for different cults or something, or different people believe it's a different time. May 1st, initiation night. May 1st, Beltane fertility festival. So it's like April 18th or something, or 19th to like May 1st. It's like this whole Beltane preparation for sacrifice, and then like May 1st would be the fertility ritual thing. And you see, and then you go into June, feast day on the 21st, solstice, summer solstice on June 22nd. So you got all these satanic rituals at the time, at this time in April and May and June for like the summer, going into the summer solstice. So I'm kind of worried about my health. I guess I shouldn't worry about my attackers killing me. Let's read this. Let's read this disgusting thing. Okay, so here's a disgusting, this is the satanictemple.org. I just want to show you this. So Hexenach. So the satanic, so that's like Beltane, right? But they're calling it Hexenach for April 30th. So I guess some satanic cults celebrate, but they all celebrate it during like April 18th to May 1st, right? This Beltane thing. Look at this sickness. Look at this, observances. Roe v. Wade, January 22nd. I wonder why they celebrate Roe v. Wade, the Satanic Temple. And they say like, they're like, oh, it's just a belief system. It's just respecting nature and stuff like that. Why are you celebrating abortion? Why are you celebrating killing babies? If you're not evil, if you're not the Satan, we're just a peaceful religion or whatever, and they're celebrating baby killing. Disgusting. I'm going to get off of this website as quickly as possible. I'll put it in this. I'll put it in the description so you guys can see it. Then I saw this Facebook, it disgusts me. We got to know our enemy though. We got to know what all these death cultists like celebrate, so we'll know what times we need to be really, really strengthened. So this is from Facebook. Satanic calendar, the eve of Beltane. So April, Easter weekend, Black Mass, Black Sabbath, to mock the death of Jesus Christ. A man is sacrificed on Good Friday. On Easter Sunday, known to Satanists as Unholy Sunday, a woman or man is sacrificed, followed by 3 days of fasting and chanting. April 19th to 25th, sacrifice preparation, kidnapping. They've already got us all kidnapped in our homes. They got the whole population of the world kidnapped in their homes. Holding and ceremonial preparation of person for human sacrifice. The 25th, the Dom Muir ritual, grand climax, sex rituals and sacrifice of a woman or a young girl. 30th, Walpurgis night in Beltane, one of the most important nights on the Satanic calendar. So the 30th. Blood rituals and human sacrifice take place. And I think some people do it on the May 1st. Let's see. Beltane, pronounced Beltane, begins April 30th at sundown and lasts until sunrise on May 1st. Beltane is the opposite of Halloween on the Satanic calendar, as Halloween is a time of reaping, while Beltane is the time of rebirth. This holiday is a time to celebrate fertility, indulgence, the rebirth of spring, and the Sumerian god Enlil, or Baal. This is where the name Beltane originates. So it's like the word, it's Baal worship. Before any real celebrating took place, wood from 9 different types of trees gathered in sacred grind was made. The grid was created by drawing a square on the ground and dividing it into 8 smaller squares. Turf from the 8 outer squares were dug out, leaving the 9th square intact. The Beltane fire symbolized the central hearth of the community, the divine fire in the center of all things, and the spark of life within mankind. So let's check this out. And on the 18th, so on the 18th you had is this Munder's video? I pulled one of Munder's videos up. See, on the 18th, huge suspicious fire in Prairie, Texas happening. So this was a gas fire, right? This was a gas leak fire, and they put it out by the end of I think April 18th. That night they ended up putting it out. Let's listen to what James Munder has to say about all this. Really, really loud. Why is it so loud? But then there's another one today. There's a chemical plant exploded.
All right, so apparently there was a gas leak and a fire burning in Grand Prairie.
So Mosma says, Vulcan Wolverine, you have me thinking of the children of the corn. The Bible Mandela affects many words that were wheat, says corn now. I know what I know. Okay. Yeah, Wayne Moore says Baphomet. Is Baal Baphomet? I don't know. I know that Baphomet's the reason why they like worship transgender, not worship, but they're trying to, make transgender people more like the norm, because Baphomet is like transgender. So it's like this, I don't know, this weird transgender thing. Rev 31 Micron says, I actually already died because of the coronavirus. Yeah, I'm just like a ghost here. This is just my AI, like hologram, like the Pope, like the Pope disappeared. Coronavirus. David Irwin says, paganism is different to devil worshiping cults. The Bible warns against worshiping the elements too, though. Yeah, but like all these, like the death cult came from pagan practices, like a long time ago, right? And it's like morphed and evolved into all these really evil death, like different types of worshiping death and worshiping Satan. Yet Rick M says people are having visions of Project Bluebeam this Tuesday. I saw AMTV said he had a dream about it. And then it's kind of interesting how the comet, I forgot what the comet's called, but the comet is coming, and it's going to be, what is it going to be this Tuesday? So that's not tomorrow, but the next day. And it's interesting that they say the comet is coming now. Are they preparing to actually have a Project Bluebeam thing? I don't know. And it all coincides with this Beltane, right? It all coincides with this ritual. This is what I know. The fires are what I know to be happening because of it now. And but my thing is this, because like during the Passover ritual, I said we're going to have this huge thing, something's going to happen, but then it happened in this weather warfare way where not many people were paying attention and nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about the weather as the Passover ritual. So I keep thinking they keep doing these things like that, right? Like we keep preparing for stuff, some big things, but then it kind of, they do something in something really bad, right? But it kind of flies under everybody's radar and they don't connect it to these ritual things, right? So I'm like, is it going to be something big that everybody just knows is happening? Or is it going to be something like that weather warfare or an earthquake or you know, these fires are pretty obvious, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude. But I don't know about AMTV. He said some things I agree with. Some things I agree with, but he's trying to sell a bunch of stuff. I guess it's okay if he sells some stuff. I don't know. I just get a feeling like he didn't really have that dream, you know. Artist about aliens is flat in the swerve. Jared Ritter says all are really fallen angels. Yaz Burnt Butterfly says at least there's no Burning Man allowed this year. But look at this though. Let's watch the rest of this.
In Texas, and they're evacuating people. Evacuations ordered in Grand Prairie due to large natural gas fire near State Highway 360. Some homes, businesses in Grand Prairie evacuated due to natural gas fire. Evacuations ordered in Grand Prairie after natural gas fire. All right, so you're seeing what's going on. Some homes and businesses are being evacuated. Evacuation orders. Natural gas ignites heavy flames.
So Rick, you like him? Rick says yes. AMTV. He said it was a vision, not a dream. I thought he said it was a dream. He said he was like going down the road and he was like in the dream. I didn't have my phone and stuff. Maybe so. You say he is very credible. You know, just take it all in. Yeah, I think he's right about some things. I don't know. It's hard for me to trust people online, like with really big channels. It's just hard for me to trust them. Because like I see Alex Jones, and I see how he says some good things, but he just gives me the feeling of controlled opposition and stuff like that. I really trust Brian at High Impact Vlogs. I think he makes a lot of money. Like he makes a lot of money on super chats and stuff like that. He'll actually tell people like, stop giving me super chats because he's making so much money off of it. But I think that's just like, I think that like to me, Bryant High Impact Vlogs, that's somebody doing something pure and doing something right. And that's like God and the universe kind of rewarding them. You know, he's not trying to take more, but it's just he's being blessed because he's doing something. Sometimes people are blessed in different ways, you know. But I think Brian from High Impact Vlogs is like really, really just saying what he believes, and he's not controlled by anybody. Well, but see that then again, right? Like he's not controlled by. He doesn't decide to be controlled by. He's not like working for the government or certain agencies, but he does go along with the guidelines to stay on YouTube, right? And that's not. I mean, that's not. I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I'm gonna have to unplug this as my attackers. It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying it's things that kind of make you go like, we all really are compromised to this system. If we rely on the system at all, and then the system's corrupt and stuff like that, we end up like the people who are the most pure and want to do what's right are still kind of compromised because they have to have sustenance off the system. You know, how do we get out of that? You really can't. You've got to like balance it, do the best you can. You know, yeah. So I mean, he's great though. He's really great. I watch everything he puts out.
Is at nearby gas station in Grand Prairie. Apparently, a freaking gas station went up. Listen Look at this. Look at
Oh,
this. It's on fire.
But they got this one out, and then today there's a huge chemical plant fire. My attack was just wiping my brain. Natural gas fire.
Right. What else do we have here? Let's take this one.
Could you turn the volume down,
What do we
Munder?
have here? This guy's talking.
Using Munder, come on. Okay, so that's in Grand Prairie, right? It's in Grand Prairie. So let's go to this article about it. The other one, I don't know where the other fire was. Let me look at it. So this was the one from the 18th. Evacuation lifted after gas leak spurs fire in Grand Prairie. The fire was reported at Mayfield Road and State Highway 360. It's April 18th. Residents in the part of Grand Prairie returned home Saturday night after a gas leak fire forced an evacuation earlier in the day. Fire crews responded to a high-pressure gas leak under the street at Mayfield Road and State Highway 360. At some point, something ignited and lit up the gas leak. Grand Prairie Assistant Fire Chief Bill Murphy said. At some point, something ignited and lit up the gas leak. Something ignited. Like they wouldn't know. Like they wouldn't know what exactly would happen. Don't they have these like people, these like basically fire police? If you've ever seen that movie like Backdraft, where they have a guy who sees exactly how the fire starts, right? My house burned down. You remember my house burned down? That one that I had, you know, before I moved to this condo, and the person they figured it out that it was like a candle that fell on the bed. They knew exactly how it started. So look, something ignited and lit up the gas leak. Grand Prairie Assistant Fire Chief Bill Murphy said. The fire was put out and Atmos stopped the flow of gas, according to a tweet around 7 p.m. from the Grand Prairie Fire Department. Anyone who returned home and smelled gas was asked to call the fire department. So this is a Grand Prairie fire. Atmos has stopped the gas flow and the fire is out. Any residual gas is under the controlled release at this time. GPFD and Atmos are currently checking buildings for elevated gas levels, and Encore is in the process of restoring power. So is that, I mean, because people in Texas are protesting the most. You guys know, you guys kind of see that little connection there. But, you know, I mean, this definitely has to do with the start of Beltane. Like, I know that. Because you know, as a targeted individual, I start seeing this stuff and I can't stop seeing it. Then let's go to, I don't know if I'll get copyright strikes. Now this is today. This is a separate fire today, a massive chemical fire raging. New concerns as thick cloud of toxic smoke stretches for miles. So this is March. No, this is March. What? Massive. Oh, this was in March. Never mind. I thought this was from today. Never mind. So the gas leak fire. I thought I thought this was from now. Let me see this other one. See when this is. Yeah, no roach milk. Nicholas Hamlin says, I'm with Wayne on this one, no roach milk. I'm not ever going to drink roach milk. Okay, so this fire is not recent. So let's go to where's the other thing? So, Sumerian god Enlil. Before any real celebrating took place, wood from 9 different types of trees gathered in a sacred group. Okay, I already read that. Beltane celebrations were celebrated in the nude. Celebrants would dance around the maypole, which stood as a phallic symbol. Couples would pair up, jump through the bonfire, and had sex in the woods all night after intense feasting. Beltane has been replaced with Walpurgis Night thanks to the Cancer of Society. Screw them. Walpurgis is a Catholic saint, and this is why Satanists do not call this Walpurgis Night. It's common knowledge that Christianity has covered the original pagan holidays with their own blasphemous holidays. What people don't realize is that the original pagan holidays were also satanic. Satanism came before Christianity. No, paganism. I don't really agree with that. I think God came before the devil. So Christianity, therefore, came before Satanism. People need to wake up and realize that not only did Christianity cover up the true blah, 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 blah. Okay, who wrote this? See, I told y'all I had to show some trash here. Salim says, I was just invited to a Beltane celebration, had to look into it. The Holy Spirit is telling me right now not to go. Don't go, Salim. Do not go. May 1st. So most people celebrated, I guess, on May 1st. But I was wondering, because I'm getting hit worse right now. Like I'm getting really mind blanked. And then last night it was so bad that I was like, it got blurry vision and could not see. And then I just started looking into it. Let's listen to a little bit more Munder here. Wayne says roach lives matter. Most definitely, man. It takes like a bunch of roaches to make just a little bit of that milk. It's ridiculous, you know. Butterfly Renouncing Control says, Kyle, I found this today, which is an interview of Judy Mikovits. She is a biological researcher. She has interesting things to say on COVID. My belief is she is a TI based on her comments. I think, man, there are so many targeted individuals out there who don't talk about it. They talk about other stuff and they try and talk about things that are closely related to it or corruption in society. But it is even amongst like the truth community, it's a big no-no to say like, I'm getting hit with microwaves. I'm getting hit with external microwaves. I'm getting hit with remote neural manipulation. It's like a social faux pas, you know, because people don't want to be associated, because the targeted individuals that are out there, like me, you guys, we kind of look crazy sometimes. Our brains are being remote neural manipulated, messed with, but I don't see any other way. I don't understand. At a certain point, things get so bad that there is no strategy, that you cannot strategize. Things get so complicated and so evil that you must follow your heart and you must just say what's happening. And that I was at that spot in 2011 really, but I got on YouTube in like 2013 or whatever. And I was at that point, just say what's happening. We need to do this quickly. If we dance around it too much, you know, but that's another way, right? And I'm not insulting anybody who tells the truth on YouTube. That's another way of to control these little informational systems, right? It's like, you know, if you become a YouTuber and you tell the truth, you want to make money with your channel and stuff like that. If you talk and say, if you say, I am being experimented on by microwave weapons, by integrated directed energy weapon systems, neuro weapons, I've been experimented on for so long, you don't get a big percentage, you know, people will leave your channel and then you can't make that, you know, make a living off of it. So we need to realize that even the greatest truther, right? If they do this for a living and they're gonna want to make it, so maybe even not to their own knowledge, they're still being manipulated. I mean, we're all being manipulated in society. And I think that the best way to really be the best person you can be is to admit that. And I think a lot of people, like, I'm really not, like, anybody who tells the truth on YouTube, I'm all for them and I'll, support them. But I think humans, especially in this corrupt system, we're all hypocrites. If you're surviving off the system at all, like even off grid, and you rely on certain foods and stuff like that, I mean, as humans, we're hypocrites. Like, I'm living in a place and paying the electricity bill and the internet bill. I carry a phone around, which is like used to GPS track me. It makes me kind of a cyborg. So I'm like using these things that I really should get rid of, but I can't live without them, right? And that's how the system works. The system is a catch-22. So things that you rely on, and it's just like you need these things to survive and talk to other people. It's going to use those things against you. And to like totally get rid of it all means you kind of, I mean, even if you get off grid and don't use a cell phone, you're still going to buy foods that were made by the system. You have to grow your own stuff, have your chickens or your turkeys like Badger, completely make your own food, milk your own cows, have a well, because even water, if you buy water from the store, it's coming from a big company that's supported by the system. So it's really hard to tear yourself all the way from the system. And I think that's a lot of people are doing that now. They're trying to live off the grid and become completely independent of society. But then what does the system do? What do these people in these agencies on top of the pyramid for Agenda 2021 up to Agenda 2030? They're going to make those people who really try and get completely independent from the system, they're going to raid their homes and their farmland and say it's illegal to collect rainwater. It's illegal to do that because they don't want people moving away from the system and getting out of their control, because they want to control every human being on the earth, all resources, all land and everything, even the air, right? Satan is the prince of the air. With 5G and these frequency weapon grids, they want to control every grid of air. 5G can absorb oxygen, so they can make certain areas. They could take an entire area with the 5G grid and the frequency weapons grid at 60 gigahertz, right? And they could just make an area completely deprived of oxygen. I mean, it's incredible. Rick M says some cities have sewer to tap treatment centers. They'll talk us into anything. Yeah. Hey, Robert. And Carla says, I don't want to leave, but I can't deal, guys. Oh, and Carla said, bad karma to all your roach talk to me. They're making fun of that roach milk thing, and it's disgusting to me too. Yeah. Well, Batman came before them all, Wayne. That God is greater than Batman, but Batman is greater than Satan. Batman. Slacks, yeah, says, are people really banning the sale of seeds? What's the origin of that whole thing? I think you can still buy them in some places, like Lowe's in certain areas and stores in certain areas. You can still buy seeds, but I think in some states they ban the sale of what are the seeds called? I don't remember the names of them, but they're doing it in some places. You can still buy them in other places, but they are banning the sale. It's trying to get people to stay on the grid. They want people still on the grid. And if you completely get away, they want to start making that stuff very, very illegal. Like chickens, you can only have a certain amount. If you have more than a certain amount of chickens or a certain type of animal, then you're hoarding. Milk, they're making farmers pour out their milk. Farmers can't sell the milk because stores can't buy homegrown milk, or not homegrown, but gotten from cows on a farm. But I think this fire, because it was on the 18th, and on the 18th, it's like preparation, it's a signal, right? So it's all over the news. This fire is all over the news. So it happened in one place, but it's all over the news, and it's kind of a signal to this death cult all over this country of America that look for things in your country that have to do with fire and stuff like that. And I think it's the start of this. Now, Beltane, the big sacrifice would be like April 30th night to May 1st. So be looking for things, you know, big that happen, but the way that they're doing things, it's like stuff that kind of is really, really bad, right? The tornadoes and the weather, the destruction of over 300 homes, the deaths of like 50 people or something like that. It's a very, very bad thing, but it's weather, right? Everybody thinks of weather occurrences as natural. They are not anymore. Earthquakes are not anymore. Fires. Now, this is a gas fire. And they have, you know, those fires in California and Australia were caused by directed energy weapons. Are they going to have something soon like that? Like, and I'm not trying to freak people out. Some of us, you know me, I was like, before I made this video, I was like, should I even tell people my attacks are worse? Because I don't want you other targeted individuals to maybe think your attackers are going to attack you harder than during this time. But I did want to, I just wanted to report it, right? I wanted to report what happened to me. It was just in like, I'm always saying, well, I don't think my attackers know they're satanic, but some of them on this hive mind team know. No, they are knowing Satanists. They are practicing like Satanists. And maybe some other people in their little group don't consider that and didn't know why they were up in all the attacks and everything. This guy next to me is like harassing me 10 times harder now. I don't know if he's a Satanist or whatever, but he is being told to do more noise campaigns to me during this time. So he doesn't necessarily have to be knowingly practicing Satanism, but they're intensifying everything, right? Because of this Beltane. Rev 31 Micron says SAI, strato aerosol injections, also cause fires and other engineered environmental disasters. Yeah. Nicholas Hamlin says underground fire. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those too, Nicholas. Nicholas says underground fires are underground satanic facilities being destroyed. Maybe. That could, maybe. I hope so. I really hope so. I hope that is the case. I really hope so. Okay, so Butterfly renouncing control. Says Rick, I bought organic cherry tomato seeds online. Michigan is still just draconian. It's not in all states. Okay, so it's not all states. Michigan's doing some really draconian stuff. I'm gonna focus, like I'm gonna do some videos like on the did you find it, Drunken Ninja? Drunken Ninja says back from hunting Dr. Robert Duncan. There's like one of his Facebook accounts, some people think that it's not him. They think it's somebody just pretending to be him, but I think that I think it's just under Facebook, Robert Duncan. I don't think he has a YouTube channel. I thought that American Inkjet was him. I thought that for a while, but I'm not sure, because they had like, they started with his interviews, with his like in a pre-preparation. So American Inkjet might be somebody that, I don't know if it's him or not. I'm not sure. Yeah, Nicholas says save the children first. We can hold the line a little longer. Yeah, I hope Q is right about that stuff. Hey Tanya. Tanya says hi Kyle. Everyone hi. Yeah, Rick M says Q people are saying they are saving the children in the tunnels. Yeah, Q is saying that. Dude, my chats lately have been screwy, like people getting blocked, and I don't do anything to them, guys. I have moderators helping me, but it's been really weird lately. I don't know. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says, I think Doctor actually knows something. Robert Duncan knows a lot. Like, I think that he is telling the truth. Like, he is an insider. Like, Robert Duncan worked on some of the chatterbox and the AI stuff. And he knows, like, he knows probably Robert Duncan knows every protocol of like this directed energy being used on us. But he can't say it all. He can give some hints about some things. He's somebody who I think literally has really bucked the system. He's a true whistleblower. But a lot of targeted individuals think that he is, that he's like counterintelligence or controlled opposition and stuff like that. Maybe they've had bad experiences with him because he's like a human man. Like he gets very upset sometimes, and I think that he's also being targeted. Like I think they've tried to destroy his life, for the information that he's put out. So I really think he's a hero. The way that he looks at it all though is very scientific because he's a scientist. He doesn't like look at this stuff very emotionally. He tries to look at it scientifically. And I think that's what kind of makes some people think that he doesn't care or something like that. But he's just a scientist. Like he's a scientist, so he looks at the whole problem scientifically. And I think he's our best whistleblower. Like I think he's the targeted individual's best whistleblower. I need to read all of those those 2 books. I bought the How to Tame a Demon, but I don't. It's pretty general and simple. The ones that's Project Dreamcatcher. There's like a volume 1 and volume 2, and I've read excerpts from both of those, but I want to get them and just read right through them. And you can tell he knows a lot about it because he talks about the 7 vectors of emotion. And this is what they're messing with remote neural manipulation. We have 7 vectors of simple emotion like happiness, sadness, anxiety, and other ones. And then we mix all these 7 vectors to create a painting of how we feel. We create a painting of how we feel with these 7 vectors of emotion, right? But why they can mess with our emotions so simply is because of these 7 simple vectors. Even though as human beings, we're so different, we paint a different picture with those 7 vectors of emotion, right? And he talks about that. You can tell that he is, that he's done a lot of work on these systems. He has little AI things like that he uses, and they'll like interact with each other, like and grow and stuff like that. Like computer programs, like AI computer programs. Let's play some more of this, guys. That's really just what I want to show you. Nicholas Hamlin says Richard Lighthouse is another insider that has disseminated an extreme amount of accurate information. Yeah, I think Richard Lighthouse is really accurate too, Nicholas. And he talks about it. I mean, it's just like satellite. What does he say? Satellite. I can't think right now. It really damaged me last night. I'm getting hit hard right now, but I felt like it was danger zone for my brain. Just satellite directed energy weapons, I think they can come straight from satellite, or the satellite can be a brain for all the other stuff, for radar, especially, 4G phased array antennas, like on top of 4G towers. Then 5G, I'm pretty sure even the consumer towers can be used with these, with the frequency weapons grid to attack us. So I don't know. I kind of think that millimeter wave, I guess not. I guess if science says that millimeter wave can't go through walls, then it can't. But there's many other frequencies that obviously can go through walls. Because I've got one coming right here, right now, and I can feel the heat of it, right? I can feel the heat of that. Let's listen to a little bit more of this, and I'll read some more chats. But I just wanted to basically tell you all about that. I thought this other fire in March was today, because I looked it up and it was the first thing. So that, and I was like, oh my God, then that's definitely. It was just such. I thought that was from today, actually. So I was mistaken on that. But still, the one yesterday is pretty telling. Could be a large signal to all the death cult people in this country. Oh, did I click off of this? Did I stop sharing? listen to a little bit of James Munder, guys. I really like James Munder. He, you know, he'll say like on his, you can tell, man, he's so affected by his targeting sometimes, and I just feel so bad. Like, and he, you know, he doesn't talk. He's like, oh, I'm getting hit by 5G. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't slept a lot. And like a lot of his viewers, they would totally just leave his channel if he said what was really happening. And so I understand that he can't come out and be like, hey, I'm a targeted individual. Like it just doesn't work for his channel and what he wants to do. But I wish that he would take care of himself, like learn about what's happening with remote neural manipulation, and there are ways that you can fight this stuff. Like I really hate it, y'all, when and I can't even push play on this. It's all messed up. Hold on. I don't like this, and I'll be honest about it. Like when and there's a lot of targeted individuals that say this. They say you can't block this stuff. Like you can maybe do some cleansing and supplements, but you can't block this stuff. And I just completely disagree with them. And I've experienced something different. And there are a lot of things that can attenuate it. Now there are certain things about it that really, I mean, they're still going to come through a lot. But you can attenuate the whole process, right? You can attenuate certain layers. I'm going to do a video on some, you know, on some passive shielding and stuff like that. And if you stack it right, you can really make it very hard, and you can kind of trap your attackers the way they attack. Like last night when I started getting hit in the neck, they were manually amplifying, right? They were manually amplifying an external hit to my neck, and they had to keep working it because my defenses will like attenuate it within a couple of minutes. So they can't just have it automated and have an automated stream coming in externally hitting me. They have to constantly amplify it because my defenses are like, they buffer it out. Like, but it takes a little while because it'll like push through, right? And it's hitting these layers, these shielding layers that I have, and then it's like buffering down. So they have to continuously keep amplifying it. Which they're hitting me right here, right now. It's like I can feel the heat right there. But it was like my lymph nodes started to swell up, and I literally started shaking. Like I was shaking and walking around my con, and I forgot where I was. Well, I didn't really forget where I was. I forgot what I was doing. And I was like, shit, like I could, like my legs, like my spine, like fell out of sync. And I was like kind of walking around, like kind of, just kind of almost fell in the kitchen. It's terrible.
Through the sewer systems. Look at this. Evacuations ordered. Look at that.
Maybe this is one of those underground fires, Nicholas.
Wow. So apparently people are getting evacuated over this huge fire gas leak type of operation. Maybe some freaking Black Ops run over here. Maybe some, I don't know. People are like, something weird's going on. Maybe Black Ops.
The cracks through the sewers. We found that it was traveling through the sewers of the different areas. So we've got our crews on all four sides of this, monitoring the gas levels to make sure it's not traveling anywhere else.
And that fire began around noon, and Atmos crews are still working to
Tony
find
says,
the gas
scalar
line that
waves.
sparked it.
Yeah.
Once the fire is out, the nearby apartment complex will
that's
be checked for gas
Artist of
levels
Alien.
before
Artist of Alien says, you know, step one, install Linux. I think that's what you have to do. Like you'd have to install Linux if you did not want your computer to be hacked. I think they could maybe even hack into that because they don't have to like use an internet backdoor to your computer. They can use radio frequencies and electromagnetic frequencies to directly hack into your computer board, directly hack into your mainframe. So like a remote directed energy that's not just them hacking into your computer from another computer. It's like using directed energy to like read what's on your mainframe with remote electromagnetic frequencies. Like that sounds so insane. Like I say that and it sounds so insane. And anybody who watches this who's like looking for the truth would be like, that's crazy. That's literally fact. Like it's literally fact of the things that they can do. Yeah, but I mean, it would help. It would help to have Linux, but they could, if they wanted to, they could really even hack that. And Carlisle, he's good, but pretty high strung. Oh, James Munder. Oh, Embryon, yeah. And Carl says, me too, Wayne. Maybe Embryano got over us. He really is. He's cool. He's really smart. He's really smart. I just wonder if he doesn't know about the frequency weapons grid that's been going on for a long time. Because I thought he was targeted. He seems targeted. I like Joe. I like Joe. I like everybody. But we're all human, right? Like we're all human, and like we all. I think it's the time has come where things are so complicated, and there's such an evil system, right? And it's really coming down on us that we have to bring it back to basics and say, like, is this a good human being who's like trying to help? But I feel like because of targeting and because like it's hard to trust people because there is controlled opposition, that it makes us sensitive. And I'm saying even me, right? It makes us sensitive. And when somebody does something maybe smaller, says something that you don't agree with on one video, you're like, oh my God, no, that guy's disinformation, or no, it like, and so we're all like overly sensitive in a time where we really need to be, and I don't know the solution to this, but we really need to be more like, is this a good person? You know, I should support them if they're a good person trying to get the truth out. I'm not saying support any kind of disinfo agent. I just think in a time where we really need to be like grouping together, we're all majorly sensitive to certain differences and stuff like that. And that has nothing to do with your comment, and it's just something I was thinking about today. And me too, like I'm also like highly just like, can I trust that person? Like I trust Jeff Censored a lot. I think he's for real. I think he's also targeted, but he also doesn't talk about it. He says he's targeted, right? But you can't, it's like if you want to get, and this is strategy, I know for like really, really good people who tell the truth, you can't just come out and say like, I'm being hit with directed energy, because you're going to lose 70% of the people. Like if you have been talking about truth kind of issues, you will lose a lot of those people. They'll be like, oh, because they're so conditioned, right? People are so conditioned throughout, from after World War II, have been, the guy on my B2K just goes, get out. People are so conditioned out of after World War II of, if somebody says they're being followed by the government, they say they're being hit with any kind of beams or something like that, they're tinfoil crazies. It's been so ingrained in everybody's subconscious, right? And it's so, that thought is so protected. Now, why do you think that? Why do you think they worked so hard for so long on TV shows and in movies, in everything, to make the person that was like, I'm being followed by the government, I have like a chip, I have a chip implant, to make them look like they're mentally ill and sick and crazy? Like we have to start looking at it's just like, it's like, what's the other thing that's so obvious? There's a lot of obvious things that become not obvious because of the way that they're so obvious. Does that make sense to you guys? It may not make sense to you guys how I just said it, because something, it's like they've been trying to say that people are crazy who are being targeted and like, or follow you, gang stalked, or anything. They've been saying it so long that in this, what is happening today in this day and age, it should be super obvious that it does exist, because there's been such an effort to make that look crazy. And it just like the term conspiracy theorists, right? They work so hard to establish that word. It should be obvious that people that are called that are maybe onto something, or maybe critical thinkers, you know, that are like actually seeing some truths that are going on in the world. Yeah, Slack TI says, I question questioning questions. Yeah. I'm telling you this stuff, man. It's like, this stuff is so complicated, like in the kind of, rituals and algorithms that they're working with at the top of the pyramid, that you could drive yourself, crazy trying to look at it all. And we've got to just sometimes, you know, the strategy's kind of over for me. I've just got to talk about what I think is true and whatever. But like, if you're not careful, you can be doing the right thing and you can get super screwed. You know, like if you're just a targeted individual and say it in a certain way, it's like, oh, you can never get a job again or whatever. If it doesn't come out, well, you know, people are just going to label you. I mean, they've got things so screwed up, and that saying that William Casey said, you know, whenever every American, what they believe is a lie, our work will be done. I mean, they're pretty close, you know, pretty close. And even the best truthers, like, don't really talk about people being murdered in their homes, you know, with the frequency weapons grid and the 5G grid, because it's seen as insane by the biggest percentage of the population. Then you've got these informational arenas, right, like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and people, they've created these social platforms, right? So that, and they've given incentive. Now, what's the incentive? Like, if you want to tell the truth, well, you can make money from it, but you've got to get a big audience. You don't want to chase your audience away. So you have a certain percentage that knows about some of those things, but then the rest of the percentage, they're going to leave. They're going to say you're a whack job and everything like that. So there's an incentive, and I'm not saying about me, because I'm just going to talk about this. This is, you know, why I even came on YouTube. But for people, there's no incentive to talk about, even if it's happening to them. You see how screwed up that is? Even if it's happening to somebody, that they have more of an incentive to talk about everything else, because they kind of like, they tell a lot of truths, right? But you see how screwed up that is? How those systems, those social systems and those communication systems are so incredibly de-incentivized for just talking about targeting, right? I mean, it's coming out though. I guess I'm pretty depressed about all this. And so I'm talking about some depressing things, but I mean, it's coming out. A lot of information's coming out. We just got to do our best. Yeah, Mosna says we do look cuckoo. But how is that? You see, we've got to look at this and see what else we can look at in the world and see how it's broken, right? Because people who have been, and there's a massive number of people, right? Massive number of people whose brains are being remote neural manipulated, remote neural monitored. They're being hit with external microwaves, and it's been going on for years and years, right? There was a big blossom of it after 2001, but it's been being done to people like remotely probably since since 1952, but they had to have a certain thing put in people in 1952, whereas everybody has all these catalysts inside of them nowadays because they've sprayed the land, toxified food and everything like that. But think about that. I mean, think about how it's like we still look crazy to a big percentage of the population when they know that the government can do anything that it wants to do to them. It can put them, keep them on lockdown. We can learn a lot about other things and how other things are hidden by how something so blatant, like I'm being murdered in my home. A lot of you guys who are targeted individuals, and you're being murdered in your home, like voice to skull, like voices shot into my skull 24 hours a day, and then put on chatterbox so that the team, the human operators, don't have to break a sweat, right? Because they got the AI doing it. I mean, this is fact. This is not conspiracy theory or anything like that. And yet, all the people that it's happening to, you have to be pretty outspoken to get up and talk about it. I know a lot of time, and I'm not, no judgment anywhere, dealing with any of the craziness of the world. People just got to do what they, it's complicated. So they got to do what's good for their life and what they feel is right, what God tells them to do in their hearts. But where even the people who are being murdered from extreme murder say, well, I don't want to talk about it because then it's going to be even worse for me, right? I mean, think about that. Then we got to say society is completely invalid. Like our system is completely invalid, but we all have to live off of it. We all have to like make money to eat and to have a place to stay. But the system, when it's murdering people in their homes and raping them and raping their minds, raping their mind, and they have to be afraid to talk about it because they're worried it's going to get worse for them. The system is completely invalid. The system is completely corrupt and done, finished, corrupt, evil, but we still depend on it to like live. You see? So things are that screwed up. Like what's happening is very bad with the pandemic and everything coming out of it. But it was the only chance that anybody had. It was the only chance that good people have, is that they come out swinging too hard. When they start swinging too hard, it'll wake people up, and it's the only chance for things to get dislodged. For so many good people to see it. So in a way, and this is hard for me to talk about, right? Because I'm not like, oh, it's such a great thing, but this is actually a real opportunity, as opposed to how we were fighting and trying to tell people we were being murdered in our homes and being called crazy. Now these people have overextended, right? The top of the pyramid is overextended. Did they do that on purpose? Did they do that on purpose to create chaos and then try and create an order out of that? Like, that's what I worry about. I worry about it. They predicted all the protests and people, coming out, and now they're going to try and use that chaos to make things worse. And then they're millions of moves ahead, right? Like AMTV was saying that, like, they're millions of moves ahead. I'm worried about that, but it's really the only chance that we'll have for and like people dying is very bad, and I mourn their loss, and I want to respect human life, and I don't want it to be, I'd rather it not be lost, but looking at things on a big scale and people really understanding the system is no longer valid at all. But we depend on it, right? It's so corrupt, raping people in their homes, murdering babies, abortion is like so disgusting, like all these things like that. Then putting people on lockdown for like something that's not even as dangerous as the flu, doesn't even take as many lives as the flu. That's a giant trick played on the world, and a lot of people are getting hurt over it, going to jail over it, and think it's just system's invalid, right? But we still depend on it. So how do we balance where it's like we've got to work within the system to have food, to have money, to have these things, but completely just rebel against it, create something new, get away from it, go create our own little islands or farmland, and then try and defend when these people come. I don't know, because there's so much, the weaponry, the satellite weaponry and the satellite grid. They've been building this up for so many decades that we've just been building it up for so many decades. We would have had to, like, everybody in the world would have had to get together and fought it all at once to really like have a chance against it, but since they know human beings, the top of the pyramid, they're like, people aren't going to fight if it's not happening to them. Like, I wouldn't have, like, if I wasn't targeted, like, I would not be on YouTube talking about targeted individuals. I would have just, I'd have a family and kids, and I would have focused on my life. I hate saying that, but that's probably what would have happened. I would have thought it was true, maybe try to donate to some good targeted individuals online, I think, but I wouldn't have jumped into the fight. It's just human nature. It's just how human beings live their lives. So now with this huge pandemic, at least there's a chance of people getting together on the system's broken. Like, the system's completely, it's not just shattered, it's like decimated for just and I'm talking about for just an honest person who wants to live a free life, and have like a kind of a small government, something to create order, but to give the individual control of their own lives. Now for the Satanist, for the person who wants communism, and a lot of those younger kids, right? A lot of those, and I'm not saying all people that want communism are not necessarily Satanists, but pretty much they're practicing Satanism indirectly. But those young kids who are like, oh yeah, Bernie Sanders, we need socialism and everything. If we ever really become socialist, those people will feel like the stupidest idiots in the world, and they'll wish that they had studied history. They'll wish that they had studied history, because that is an evil across, that's Mordor. Communism or a technocracy or anything like that, where you got the serf class and then a monarch or whatever, monarchy, oligarchy, global oligarchy, that's pure hell. And right now, like, we're in the zone of, like, the system's completely shattered, and they want to shatter it more to put together, you know, this new world order where there's an oligarchy and then basically all the different countries are socialist. Like, can you believe that? Like, I read comic books, I still read comic books, but like Dr. Doom taking over the world. I never thought I'd see that in my life, where a small group of men literally try and take over the world. And that's what they're doing. You know, that's so bizarre, you know, that I'd ever see that for real, man. Drunken Ninja says, I don't look cuckoo. That's how they keep his secret. I don't look Coco. That's how they keep his secret. I don't know what you're trying to say there, Drunken Ninja, but I'm sure it's right. It's good. Rick M says, Catherine Horton cracked me up when she first started her YouTube channel wearing a tinfoil hat. She said she thinks she looks cute and will be coming out with fall fashions. She is one of a kind. Yeah, I wore a lot of tinfoil hats too. Has she done, I know she came back and did one video. Has she done another one? Yeah, Tanya says, I'm burnout from torture. Me too. Dude, it sucks, man. I just think about like I wouldn't be probably talking on YouTube if I wasn't targeted, but like if I was not targeted, remote neural manipulated, and psychic driven by Voice of Skull, like I used to be able to just talk on any subject, and I took it for granted, you know. And now it's like I'll just like lose what I was thinking of. I can't talk about as complicated of things as I want to. I can't remember dates and details. You know, because I mean, I've been targeted like since childhood, and I just think, what would I have been like if I wasn't messed with, like from birth, or when I was like 12? It's either one of those. But if I just had a natural progression, like a natural, like I was a human being, and there was nothing inside, nothing microwaves directly hitting me, directly messing with my mind, my nervous system, what would I be? You know, it's sad. I mean, I kind of let go of that because you have to survive. I'd have been a lot smarter though. Sucks. Nicholas says, it's hard, but hearing you talk about it helps me. It helps me to get some level of peace that I found other people that are going through the same thing, and that via our coordination, we will be able to thrive. Yeah, that's right, Nicholas. Yeah, good people have to organize and come together. And we gotta be bold. We gotta be brave. And the things that I'm talking about earlier too, I think about this, like there are consequences to rebelling, right, against an evil, broken system. But sometimes it's going to be worth more to rebel against an evil system and take some of those consequences. You know, we got to find ways to do that to kind of like, yeah. But that, thank you, Nicholas. And I've watched your channel, you, Wayne, Nicholas Hamlin, Wayne Morris, Jeff O, Badger. Like y'all help me because I'm like, oh yeah, really. And I really miss. Can't forget his name. That's how bad my memory was. His videos like really helped me. You guys tell me, big. Oh my God, that is so horrible. That is so hard. My memory is so horrible. Targeted something. Not targeted citizen. Really forgot his name, man. Jesus. Little Roach motels go up in price. Somebody give me the name of the guy who was making tons of videos, and he would make them kind of short. And then, good God, that is horrible. That's like the worst thing ever. I'm really sad. I'll probably like cry after this video because I forgot his name. Like I literally cannot remember his name. And he's somebody so important to me. Oh, I'm so angry right now. Oh my God, it's killing me, guys. What? Oh man. Slack TI says, plus no one has ever showed me it helps. What? I've never made a tinfoil hat. I've always felt the moment I do, they won't. No, it does help. It does, but it can absorb electromagnetic frequencies too. But it did certain things, right? Like if they were doing a certain protocol of external hits, a tinfoil hat does actually work. but they can switch it, they can adapt it. So if you're just using a tinfoil hat, they can do something that does go through it, right? That's the thing. That's why we've got to do passive shielding plus grounding plus a bunch of other stuff. You stack it up, you get your little strategic routine of stacking, and that's, I'm going to do a video on that. That's like the best thing that I've found. New type says targeting has definitely gotten worse since they installed 5G everywhere in 2 months. Yeah, yeah. And they're targeting more people. They're targeting more people. Also, guys, check out New Type's channel, NEW space TYPE. He's making some good, like, kind of documentary style stuff. I can't remember one of my greatest friends, and he disappeared, and then I can't remember his name. I can't remember his YouTube name. Can't remember his YouTube name. His real name was John. His real name was John. At least I remember his real name. It's like such a simple YouTube name. I cannot remember it right now. Somebody help me out with that in chat. I must remember it. Yeah, okay, yeah, so Waymore says, hit up our boy Jeff O team. Yeah, hit up Jeff O. Is he doing a video right now? Yeah, Kevin, targeted individual. Drunken Ninja. You say, where is Stacy then? I don't know. Like, we're not dating anymore. Like, we broke up a couple of weeks ago. And, I mean, I told her she could come to my live streams. I don't know. Like I don't know if she's been on other people's live streams or whatever, but I didn't run her off or anything. Like I was like, you can come to my live streams if you want to, and you know, so I don't know. Maybe yeah, I guess I just don't want to talk about that. I could remember his name. I guess she may not want to come to my live streams because, you know, because we broke off, and it's just maybe she feels uncomfortable, you know. But she's a targeted individual, so I don't want to, like, I made sure to let her, and I was like, you can still come to my live streams and stuff because you're targeted, and this is kind of like, you know, important information. But she may be going to other people's live streams like Nex and Badge Report or something like that. I don't know. I mean, both of us really weren't happy at the end of, like when we broke off. It wasn't great, but it's like, I don't know, man. And says, who are you talking about? Stacy. Everybody can check her channel out. Stacy TI. STACY _TI, and she found some really good defenses. And yeah, it was probably like 3 weeks ago or something, like 3 weeks ago we broke up. I don't know if I want to talk about that, guys, because I don't want to talk about anything she doesn't want me to talk about, you know. But yeah, basically that. But like, I hope that she still, you know, she gets targeted. So, I mean, if she wants to come here and talk to you guys, and I'll read her chats, like, I don't, you know, have a problem with that. But I could see maybe, I mean, it was kind of like the end. It was kind of, we had really great times during it, but we both were kind of like upset towards the end. So I can see where she would maybe feel uncomfortable to come to my videos or whatever. I don't know. But she may be going to other live streams, you know, so she may never come back to my live streams, guys. Like, if you know, she may never come. Nicholas Hamlin said, targeted citizen tried to start shit with me a few weeks ago, pretending like he had an insider scoop dirt on me. Yeah, he really, like, thinks everybody's agents. Mischievous M says, the channel called Haleman, they have started targeting him since he has started speaking out about their corruption. Yeah. seen a lot of people like that who have like truth channels, and they'll start being like, oh, I forgot what I was about to say, or like they'll be cut off, their videos will be cut off, and I'm like, do they have any idea? Because they really need to have an idea of what's coming, because it can get worse. If you don't start defending and doing certain things, it's going to be this trying to amplify that bio-relevant feedback loop, you know. Drunken Ninja says, I think I'm banned on Nexus channel. Why would you be banned on Nexus channel, Drunken Ninja? Yeah, Wayne Moore says, we love Stacy. I love Stacy. I still really love Stacy. I hope she's doing okay. I hope she reaches all of her goals in life. Like, I really love her. She's pretty angry at me towards the end. I can't, like, the biggest thing was I can't move to California. My family is in Florida. My grandma and brother are here, and I thought about it a lot. I can't talk about that, guys. Like, cause I don't, you know, whatever she does, I don't know. It was good. We really loved each other. I still love her and want her to do good. I mean, I told her, I was like, you can definitely still come to my live streams, you know? But it's just, y'all know how it is sometimes. Like, you know how it is. I mean, it's like, it's kind of, I mean, maybe in time, like, that's what I'm hoping. Just maybe in a couple of weeks, she'll come back, and, you know, because I know that she loves you guys. You know, she loves going to Nexus live streams, and I think some other target individual live streams. She probably has been, you know, it's probably just, you know, target individual live streams that I don't go to and stuff like that. Yeah, that was really tough. Like, the whole thing was very tough. It was super hard, you know, super hard for me. It's hard, and I want to talk, like, I want to do a video just about, but I'd have to, like, because, you know, like, I don't want to say a bunch of private stuff in our business that she doesn't want me to put out there. So it's very hard, because that's how I deal with stuff, right? It's like, I'm just like, yeah, this is, oh, because I got to get it out. And so it's been very, very hard. But the bottom line is just, I just couldn't move to California. It just didn't seem like it was in the cards, but I love her very much. She's so beautiful and so intelligent, and I want her to have everything that she wants in life, you know, everything she wants to do. Like, it's very, very hard. Still, you know, going through that emotionally, and it's tough. It's tough, man. She was supposed to move here at first, but then it turned into me. I had to, like, sell it. I'm not going to go into it. I need to stop right now. Tanya says, yes, Kyle was in Australia, then dated a USA man, then married. Yeah. Well, somebody's got to move, right? When you have a long distance relationship. And she is so important. She's still important to me, you know, but my family's always been there for me. And I just don't think that I could ever be happy, like, being across the country from them. And also, I mean, just tons of stuff. But she's awesome. She's so beautiful, so intelligent. She's found some awesome defenses, and I hope she's doing really good, you know. Spirit Channel says, Kyle, has YouTube totally demonetized you? I saw your video where you talked about it. YouTube is stepping up demonetizing and shutting down channels. Yeah, I got demonetized, Spirit Channel, for talking about COVID 19, you know. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe using my secondary channel and, like, putting some stuff on there and remonetizing, but I don't make enough money. I don't have enough subscribers to make tons of money. Artist Beltane says, Kyle, you're a good dude, and love is even harder when you're a TI. Yeah, the loving each other part wasn't the hard thing. It was all the practical stuff, and you know, we just got into it really quickly, and yeah, it really sucks, man. I was upset. She was upset at the end. It's really, really hard. It's a really hard thing. Yeah, Wayne Morris says, yeah, this is awkward for you kids. I didn't, yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about it. But it is like, it's like when you start doing everything, like doing these videos and like, trying to give people help and defense, and then you have like a relationship like that, and that all comes into it. It wasn't a great experience. Like nothing insulting to her. It just was very hard to balance those things. And it's like oh gosh, shut up. Yeah, I gotta shut up. I'll say this, we had some great times. We loved each other. I still love her. I don't know. She might, I don't know. She kind of, I think she hated me to it. Okay. It was great, a great relationship, but shut up, God, just shut up. Yeah, APV. Yeah, dude, email me and we can do a live stream. I'll try and do some of those. Maybe one day. I already said too much. ABB said, I thought you did, W. I'm set up here, but I've never made a vid. When I do, it will be my end. I never finished my spiel with next. No, man, you can get on there. Your attackers might hit you a lot. Really, yeah, it is tougher. It is tougher when you make videos. It is, and you got to really defend yourself and have some control of how much pain and stuff is going on, because they'll make you want to quit, Yeah, Wayne Moore says, I would love to interview people needing help with testimonies. I think it would be cool. Yeah, Wayne, you should definitely do that. You're doing a bunch of really good stuff. With me, it's like I was thinking about doing a hangout tonight. I was like, let's talk about Beltane, and then we'll do but I get so tired, and I feel like it's like, then I'm like talking to people, but I'm like not even really there. I get so tired, and I don't like doing that. So it's like I got to pick a really good time to do a hangout or talk to other people when I have enough energy, right? It's just hard with targeting. Feels like, oh, I can just come on and give some information and talk to you guys for a while, and that's pretty easy. Like I can do that. I have enough energy for that. But like whenever we do hangouts, we all want to hang out. Like I even do. I'm like, hey, we're talking and we're on it. We're on YouTube, so let's hang out for a couple of hours. And that just takes so much out of me. And then it's like we're talking. Like sometimes, like I don't like it when I get too just kind of chatting about stuff. Like that time we kind of were talking about TC. I don't really like doing that. Like I just, because it's like controversial, and always the stuff that I think about, right, is controversial. Like the stuff that I really think about all the time is very controversial. So I'd like to have some more organized thing. We'll do some stuff, man. Yeah, most says Kyle, it's all good. I tell myself to shut up too. I don't know how relationships are. Just Stacy's just a really good, beautiful person. I just, I don't know. Yaz Burnt Butterfly says, I'm married to a handler. Yeah, Jerver says, man, stop talking about her. I know you hurt, and I'm praying for you too. I'll just say one more thing. I was hoping that this is yeah, I'm just gonna shut up. I'm kind of getting tired, guys, so I might have to go ahead and end the live stream. But Sleeping Beauty said, mischievous M, I hear you. I don't feel like I can subject another person to this. That's what I really worry about. And that was the really good thing about me and Stacy's, that we're both targeted and we both understand what the other one's going through, right? And that's a very important thing. And I don't know, maybe given time when all this is more known, maybe that more targeted individuals can have a normal person in a relationship. That's because maybe everybody's just going to be targeted, right? But that's a big concern I have with ever dating somebody who's not a target individual, is they're going to become one. Like, I mean, I can't live with that on my conscience, that like I know that I'm targeted and they may not think that it's real or something, but they still date me, and then they're going to be targeted. Like they're going to get remote neural monitored and cooked and hurt just for being around you. And it's like, it's really, you know, I don't know if we should put that on ourselves, because just so many people are being targeted, right? But I'm like that too. I'm like that too. Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, Tanya Bauer says, love Stacy. Tanya Bauer says, she is our family. Definitely, definitely. Definitely, definitely. And Carla says, enough men. Thanks anyway. I don't know about like, I definitely don't know about having a family anymore. I'm kind of I'm in a heal up stage right now. It's really, really tough. It's just, yeah, that stuff's tough. Yeah. All right, guys, y'all depressed me. Thanks, Drunken Ninja. Thank you so much. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it, guys. But we'll do something else this week. I'll be watching out for really some weird stuff going on this week. I guess weird stuff's going on every week. Infinite Illusionist says, I'd love to share my story. It's unique, but it's what gets me bullied in the community, so don't talk about it anymore. Yeah, we gotta talk about it, but find strategic ways, you know, to talk about it, so that people that are going, because so many more people are being targeted in society, just in general. We just got to find some very unique strategic ways. And the very important thing, and my attackers told me this, and I think they were being pretty honest. They're going to kill me tonight anyway. Like they're going to really nail me tonight. But I was like, why do y'all care about shutting down my videos, or like, you know, why do you really care about this stuff? And they said, because you make sense. So if you're a targeted individual, even when you're talking about super crazy things, it's really good to show that you are self-aware of how crazy it sounds. Like, be very self-aware. Show people that you understand like their level of thinking, and that it sounds wackadoo, but it is true and it is factual. And if you show a consistent level of making sense with other things, right, other topics, then when people see you talking about the targeting, external directed energy weapons, remote neural manipulation, and things like that, they're like, oh, well, he makes sense about all this other stuff, so like that has to be true. And he's, you know, it's hard. It's a hard balance, because this stuff is crazy. It's been going on for so long, and it's still crazy to the biggest percentage of the population. I mean, I think 5G is being put in. Once 6G is here, people are going to be, their brains are going to be hooked up. Like on a consumer level, people's brains will be hooked up to the grid. Like they will order things with their thoughts, like by the time 6G comes around. So there's not much more time left for this secretive raping people 24 hours a day, because when you tell people about this stuff, like my visuals are being put in my head or read from my head, people will be like, yeah, oh, I know that technology, that it can read my visual, and my visual can be put out on a computer screen. So it's like, we got to push, we got to push, because it may change some of the plans of the people up at the top and how they hide this technology. Oh, they're like hitting me in the left. The left side is a big deal. Drunken Ninja. Is that hand sanitizer? Yeah, AP. Thanks for coming, man. AP says, Wayne, my memory foam mattress doesn't know who I am. Sleeping Beauty says, they'll be hooked up with their Google and Gates vaccine. Yeah. And what I don't understand is everybody pretty much already has the ingredients inside of them, like nanotechnology, nanoparticulates that have bypassed the blood, at least in America. People already have those ingredients. But I guess it's redundant systems and newer things that can surveil somebody, remote monitor them easier, right? They're coming up with their training, research, and development, not just on the weapons and the grid, but training, research, and development on the catalyst. You know, I think the first thing they started with was implants, and then it was, you know, I don't know the like what was first, but you got Morgellons now. The Morgellons like crystals and that kind of like half metal, half fungus, right? That kind of nanotechnology. Then like the smart dust stuff, and then other types of nanotechnology. So it's like spawned out of just having an implant in somebody to all these other and then biofilm, right? And then certain toxins that can be easily connected to with the directed energy. And so I feel like this ID 2020, this and the vaccine, those are going to contain things in them that are further a progression of the training, research, and development, because they want everybody to be able to be surveilled in their heads, like not just surveilled physically and in their space. They want total control and to see all, even thoughts in people's heads. And you know, I don't know how to stop it. Even if people knew, right? Even if we got 30% of the population to know about this stuff, and that would, you know, how much time is that going to take? I don't know. That's why sometimes I'm like, well, I'm going to put the truth out and I'm going to fight for good things, but they've just been working on it for so long. And people during that time when they've been working on it for so long, people don't believe in it. They say that person's mentally ill, that's happening to. And so it's been so long of that. It's been years and years and years of that. And now when it comes crashing down, when they're like, okay, it's game on, we don't care if the whole globe knows about this stuff and this draconian stuff, because we've been working on it for many, many years. And there's nothing y'all can do. That's what I'm very worried of. It's a depressing thought. And there's always hope. There's always hope with Jesus Christ. There's always hope. You know, if you have faith in God, there's hope to have victory in life. But I don't know about stopping the neuro side, you know. At first, you know, Brian too would say it, and I'd be like, no, we can stop it. We can stop it. We can stop this, and we can all have freedom. But so much time has passed with people going, that's mental illness. And then now for the top of the pyramid to come out like this with this pandemic, something very obvious to a lot of people, for them to come out like this in a big way, it shows that they're very confident that nothing can stop them. That's all I'm saying. It shows that. But I don't know. Like, I don't, you know, God is in control, and there's some very powerful benevolent forces, and I don't know the full plan there. So we can just do the best that we can do, you know, and hope for the best. Fight, you know. But and this is not like, I know some people would be like, well, you're being really depressing, Colin. You're just a giving in attitude. It's not giving in. It's just from the angle of seeing it as a targeted individual who's been experimented on since I was like born, or when I was the age of 12, one of those. Seeing how nobody responded to it because it wasn't happening to them, but it's happened to a lot of other people. And I've fought, I've revolted. I've been, you know, I should have done more, right? But I was being murdered at the time, and I'll do more now. I mean, I'll do as much as I can, but it's kind of like my body and my mind are very tired from being experienced. So this is what you hear right now. It's like, I'm very tired. And this whole new thing comes out right now. What we need people going, yeah, revolution. We need to fight. We need to get out there. You need people with a lot of energy. But at this point in time, I've been worked and experimented on and tortured for so many decades that I'm like, really? Okay, now the new world order comes, and then, you know, I'm still gonna fight. I'm just I've been hit hard in these last couple of days. Tanya says, Kyle, burn out like I am. Burn out like I am. Since you're 55 soon. That's really young, Tanya. Yeah, that's it. And I'm just burnt out. And today is really bad because I got really, really just like jammed in my neck. And then they'll do it right now. They're doing a stream to the top of my head right here. And it's this ELF. It's extremely low frequency, right? Straight to my head, straight to do this cranial nerve stimulation, electromagnetic and transcranial nerve stimulation, and it makes me severely depressed because it's a low frequency going straight to the brain, right? And then they're doing all these complex remote neural manipulation things, but that extremely low frequency or vagus stimulation, when the vagus nerve is stimulated, it can actually affect the brain neurologically. So they go back and forth with my vagus nerve, sending frequencies to my brain to put pain to my vagus nerves to weaken it, and then sending stimulation to the vagus nerve to actually to affect me neurologically. It's a lot of like extremely low frequencies to the brain, which your brain needs high frequency energy, you know, to be up and to love everybody and be like, yeah, we can do anything. And so when you're hit with extremely low frequency, it's like this battle, this resistance to not be organically depressed, right? Because there's when your brain's hit with extremely low frequency, the chemicals in your brain respond, because your brain is electrochemical, and it has an electromagnetic field and it has chemical function that your brain is processing. So if you manipulate your brain with electromagnetic frequencies, you can actually change the chemical, like how your serotonin and dopamine and everything like that. And if you affect the chemicals in your brain, you can affect the electromagnetic field of your brain. So this is really, it's taught me a lot about how the body and the brain work, right? And that's super powerful. I mean, they have a technology right now, like the technology being used on us, where you could put a certain magnetic field around your head and always be happy. Like there's certain programs where they're getting really close to like being able to do it on a level of you don't have to be sad again. Like that exists now. But with me and you guys, a lot of you guys, I'm sure all you guys, it's a negative protocol. It's how sad and depressed and anxious can we get, you know, these targets, and we're hurting them too and doing all this stuff. So, but I guarantee you guys, and I think maybe from my childhood, from like the age of 12 to like 18, it was a positive protocol where I was really smart and like had a lot of extra energy all the time. And I think that they may have done a little bit of that. And then when I moved to Texas, maybe a new contractor or a new team came on. That's when they started hurting me and making things go bad for me. So I think that for a little amount of time, I did experience that positive protocol. And I guarantee you that there are so many people around the globe that they're really happy and successful and they think really fast and everything. And it's part of a positive protocol, right? Which is sad. I think Elon Musk, I don't know if they're manipulating his emotions, but I do think that he is hooked up to a stream of energy, a bidirectional stream of energy, where he can be sent like certain information to his brain. Like, because the way that he moves all the time, like if you go and watch the Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, the way that like I'll start doing this when my attackers really hit me hard, my nervous system's reacting, and Elon Musk is talking to Joe Rogan, and he'll have these little twitches, right? Not just from that, it's not the only evidence, but I really do feel like he from birth, he has been in his family is all tied into this, and he has something where they're like trying to make his brain better and think better. And I think it's maybe made him a little bit weird in a lot of ways. Like a lot of people say he's kind of weird, but he's really smart, right? So he's kind of weird, but he's really smart. And I think, and you see him, go watch that Joe Rogan, Elon Musk interview. Every target individual needs to watch that. You need to watch somebody who knows a lot about what's going on with us, talking about the future and things that he works on and things like that. But he'll do these little kind of twitches and stuff like that. And Drunken Ninja put his Discord link in the chat. Yeah, Wayne Moore says, yeah, I've been twitching hard. It's like last night they hit me in the neck, and then like the top of the head and over here, and then they were like doing vagus nerve, and I was just like, I started shaking all over, and I literally couldn't think of words. Like I couldn't think of words, and it's just like my mind. It was like this white hot flashes in my mind. Like it's been that bad before, but lately I've had it kind of under control. And then I have to go to use the bathroom, and this guy over here, my neighbor, would like hit the wall, and he go with the water. It wasn't V2K, because they do that where something. It sounds like people are walking up above me, but it's V2K. But this guy, and I doubt he knows much. I think they're just like, hey, look, you're gonna harass this guy because we want him out of here. So every time he goes to the bathroom, just run your water. He'll start going shh, 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 and like I just ignore it. Like I just use the bathroom and I try and ignore it. But it does. And then they're trying to do this remote neural manipulation anger thing, right? They're trying to get me really angry so I'll yell at them, right? Because they want to entrap me and get me in trouble and make me out. But they're, I mean, murdering and raping me and doing mind control and just mutilating my body, right? And then getting this guy to harass me to make me look insane, right? That's a sign that the system is completely molecularly just gone. It's gone. So like I hear these very, very awesome people like Brian at High Impact Blogs, like, we got to take our freedom back. We got to take it, but they don't understand, like, people's heads are being hooked into by the millions on our globe. We have to destroy these weapon systems, these computers. Like, we have to destroy it all and restart to like really have a chance. And we don't, they're all in these secret top secret facilities, right, that you can't get into. Like I know Kevin from Targeted Individual, you know, he's like, yeah, you can go online and find your remote neural monitoring it. You can't. Like, I love Kevin. I love his attitude. He's a fighter. He keeps fighting, but he needs to realize this is like, these are groups, these are contractors, and they have top secret clearances on these weapon systems. Like, they'll act like they're your neighbor, like on the V2K, and they'll act like it's this person doing drugs or blah, blah, blah. It's not true. They want to do that to throw you completely off. And they also want to do it to discredit you. So when you go and tell people, you're like, yeah, it's my neighbor. I did the same thing for years. So I'm definitely not insulting Kevin at all. I thought it was my ex-Army neighbor, which he did help. He had some ground weapons and stuff, but they did his voice and his wife's voice. So I would look completely insane. And like a cop went into their house and there was nothing in there. You know, that's how they do it. Oh yeah, Sleeping Beauty says, yeah, he's weird as hell, talking about Elon Musk. This won't end well for him. I'm not convinced he's a target. He's a billionaire making money off of this. No. I don't think he's a target, Sleeping Beauty. Maybe you weren't referring to what I was saying. I don't think he's a target. I think that it's a using this technology, interacting with his brain where he knows about it and the people around him know about it, and it's only in a positive informational way. It's not like he's not targeted. He's involved with the technologies of enhancing his brain with electromagnetic frequencies. In what way, I don't know, but it just seems like it because he's always like twitching and he's kind of weird and stuff like that. And he's very involved in all this. So I don't think he's targeted involuntarily like us. I think that he is in maybe a program he made on his own, or like in the military industrial complex where it's like his brain can pull any information it wants at any time, right? He can maybe pull up sophisticated math or algorithms when he's building something. And it's something like that. It may have been from childhood that his family was involved in these things and they're using the technology that way. Yeah, I'm not certain of it though, but yeah, he's definitely not targeted like negatively. Nicholas Hamlin says, I think Elon and his higher ups are a type of people that can afford to target millions of people along with Raytheon to program and experiment for these devices and systems. Yeah, I agree, Nicholas. There's just so many. It's just, that's the complicated thing and the hard thing for us. There's so many agencies and so many contractors and so many security industry companies like Brian Coughlin talks about. I think that a lot of the things he says are true, and it's so many people all doing, like Nicholas Hamlin, you know, Nicholas 1780, oh God, Nicholas 1978. He says making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? That's a simple metaphor. And all these contractors, agencies, security industry companies, telecommunications companies, military agencies, the Pentagon, CIA, DARPA, new agencies, right? New Frankenstein agencies being built to fuse other agencies together. They're all, one's making peanut butter, the other one's making bread, one's making jelly. And so they don't know, like, if my attackers knew what they were putting into, what kind of future they were trying to make, they would not be doing it, no matter how evil they are. If they knew what they were making, that peanut butter, the guy just goes, "You got it." He doesn't care. Like what he's like I'll tell him sometimes, I'm like, this is going to be so evil. You would not be putting into this. And he's like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. The woman just goes, it's evil. It's such a laugh. Like at a certain point, yeah, Wayne Moore says, we are not bored. Resistance is futile. Let's show that. Let's show that to end it. Let's show that. I've been watching the Picard show. It's all about like how Data has like 2 daughters and they're twins, and it's talking about synthetic humans, and it's talking about the Borg. And I'm on episode 2, but it is so just about transhumanism and the rights of like fake people, of like the rights of synthetic humanoids and stuff like that. It's just such predictive programming. I mean, that world is coming, guys. Like the world where there are going to be things that look human and are not. And in a world where people's minds are going to be hooked up to a grid, you can get information and people are going to be secretly controlled. It's coming. Like it's so big. Like it's been building for so long, and it has so many resources. I'm trusting in God. Y'all know my whole thing. This is my whole thing. This describes me. I wish it was more hopeful. Even though he slay me, I will trust in him. And that's my bottom line right now. Like we gotta do stuff. We gotta be proactive. I get that, but man, it's so big. It's just so like, yeah. We gotta do our best. We gotta be good people, and we gotta fight it. It's just I see the best of the best truth tellers and fighters of freedom, and they really are. And I really respect them, and I love them. And it's like, gosh, thank you, God, that we have those type of people. They don't know anything. Like they know everything that they're talking about, right? They know everything at this level, at this certain level. But if they knew what was going on in every community, it's like it's really, really bad. It's really, really bad up to a certain level. And a lot of people do go bad. A lot of people talk about it. I don't know. It's just some truthers is like, is it even good for them to know how bad it is? Like, because they've got to fight at that level and what God has put in their path, and it's complicated stuff at that level. But I'm just like, if they knew, like, people being murdered in their homes, their thoughts are being read. It's like, that's my attackers. My attackers are doing this little, because it's like little messages on the tablet, and so they do it at certain times, and I'm starting to be more conditioned by it. Like I'll turn around and they're I hate them. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty says if Musk was a target, he'd be speaking out about it, and that isn't happening. Yeah, I'm not talking about like a target, like Sleeping Beauty, yes. Said I see what you're saying. Yeah, like not a voluntary, like a voluntary thing where they're using information in AI and electromagnetic frequencies, so he can grab information that he wants, so it enhances his brain. And it's like his family's involved in it. So it's not like targeted. It's not like we just target it out of the blue, right? Dude, there's all kinds of stuff, Sleeping Beauty. Like we are like targeted individuals that are involuntarily remote neural manipulated, remote neural monitored. We're like a small little slice of the pie of everything they're doing with electromagnetic frequencies in the brain. Like there's so much stuff going on out there with the manipulation of the Earth's electromagnetic field, and then the satellite systems in the grid structure that's built up. We're a small slice in the pie of everything like that. And I think that's one way that we can, as targeted individuals, we talk about everything to do with electromagnetic energy. Fires are being started by satellite directed energy weapon systems, weather warfare. We've got to talk about all these things that are being done, and people have to start looking into the electromagnetic spectrum, directed energy, all these things, electromagnetic fields. It's the way of the future. Like everything's going to be done wirelessly, just like Nikola Tesla was saying, like way back in the past, that you don't need wiring to provide electricity or energy to something, you know, especially like scalar energy, when scalar energy can like in this way that I don't understand, can go from like here to here and never pass through in a straight line. It is like the future. I sometimes am very, I hate it. I hate the technology and what's been done to us. And I do have to hate it, but I mean, it's I don't know. Yeah, Nicholson, 1968. I still haven't subscribed to him. I see him on Richie's channel, and I haven't subscribed to him yet. Yeah, APB's D-Bay says this is compartmentalized for security reasons. Left and right can't know what they're doing. Yeah, as if they knew, they wouldn't do it. Like if they knew, like that's what. See, Robert Duncan was one of those people that he had his compartmentalized job, right? But he started to explain, or maybe just his whole life, he liked to know about everything. Like Robert Duncan liked to know about everything, and he liked to know how things fit in. He was a big picture person. He is a big picture person. So like it was natural for him to like see what his work was going to be going into. And then when he found that out, when he like sniffed that out, he was like, no, can't do this. I have to speak out against it. And I really think that was an organic event. That was an organic situation where they didn't want him going out and talking about this. I really think so. I think at first they were like, nobody's going to believe him. We don't have to worry about it. But then the Jesse Ventura show, I think after he spoke out on there, they started targeting him and destroying his life. You know, and I think he's still careful about things that he could be put in prison for saying. But I just want to say that to targeted individuals, because I know a lot of targeted individuals like he's fake, he's controlled opposition, whatever. I really think his life has been destroyed for what he's done. And that's the type of person, when somebody's life is destroyed for trying to help people, you know, we really need to be thankful to them and really respect the information that they've given us, you know. He's not a James Giordano type person, you know. And James Giordano puts out some good information, but he covers up a lot of it. Really, Lion Live says McDonald's has stopped ordering many of their supplies for at least 90 days. Why would they do this? You can't get a hot fudge sundae at McDonald's in Utah. Some McDonald's have no ice cream. Really? Stop. Are they gonna like mess with them and put something in them or something? Wow. Bye, Mo. Thank you for coming, man. Yeah, have a good night, Mo. Hope you guys are okay. I hope your targeting doesn't get a whole lot worse. Yeah, Artist of Alien says the games too, like Cyberpunk 2077 is all about transhumanism. The movies and the games, they're putting it in there and they're speeding up putting it in movies and games. I really want to do some videos on like, you know, predictive programming, but it seems like we're just in such a like emergency situation. But guys, let me say this, like, okay, as a targeted individual, like we're hit and we know that we're being hit with something overtly. And then it's like we fight, and we're finding defenses and we're doing activism and everything like this, right? But it's this, our attackers and the automated technology has so much time. So think about that. Like, it's like, oh man, I had, for the first 5 years of getting on YouTube, I had a lot of adrenaline and I was fighting and everything like that. But it just goes on and on and on. And it's just like the male voices, whether it's like automated chatterbox or if they're piping in manually, they're like, what? Oh man, they just made me forget it. I just wiped it from my brain. Oh, you know, when I'm doing videos and I'm adrenalizing, they'll be like, we've got all the time in the world. You know, they'd say that, we've got all the time in the world. And you look at this, look at the pandemic, and you see people protesting. But this thing, what they're doing is a slow roll where they have so many resources and so much time, right? So what happens after 6 months? What happens after a year of protests and they're still you know, kind of falling back on some, my attackers with my targeting have fallen back on some things. Then they keep some things going, like the remote neural manipulation. They're kind of back and forth, push and pull, right? But such a long period of time. And that's what I worry about with this pandemic and what's going on, is it's just this thing that, and right now you got people, we're all watching, well, at least me, I'm watching Richie from Boston, I'm watching John X Army, I'm watching High Impact Vlogs, I'm watching all these channels. We got to know what's going on every day. There's protests going on. I think this month is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing on the good guy side, right? Then what happens after? It's like, okay, you guys can go back to work, but we're going to keep these laws in place. Oh, we've got a new wave of this coming in, and it just kind of push and pull, push and pull, push and pull forever. That's what I worry about as a targeted individual. That's what I'm really, really worried about. Like, people are fighting back now, but like human beings and groups of human beings, we don't have a lot of resources. We're all living on shoestrings trying to do something. We're going to have to create some systems that are, we're going to have to create some systems that are incentivized, right? We're going to have to create some markets for actually fighting against draconian things and tyranny. And some of those markets are created, right? But we're going to have to, I think that for people to fight this long term like we need to, there's going to have to be consumer driven markets for being a good person, for fighting against tyranny, for fighting for freedom and things like that. You know, where patriots control those, and we get out of the control, like, so YouTubes that aren't controlled by Google and stuff like that. Take that idea, right? But we need that on a massive scale for everything. But you know, those things are going to be, the system's going to jump in and try and buy them up, right? You got a single owner of something, a patriotic YouTube, right? And then they get an offer, you know, from the system that's like millions of dollars, and they have to take it because it's going to make their life better. But then all that freedom that it could help people to have is just taken away, you know. So it's going to be a battle. The long-term thing is what I'm worried about, because as a targeted individual, that's what gets me. That's what, like, if they did this to me for a year, hardcore, boom, dude, I'd be fighting the whole time and realize it's the never-ending part of it. Because that's what these evil people on the top of the pyramid and all these evil monsters, they have so many resources. They pay people, the cops and cops and a lot of law enforcement and people in the military. They make a living out of suppressing, right? And the people fighting back, we have to make a living still off of their system. And that's what really worries me. So, I mean, but, you know, it's a time to be creative, right? It's a time to get very creative for good people of this world, to really trust in God, you know, get really creative, but we're going to need some kind of incentivized markets for like fighting it so that we can constantly do it. But like, start breaking away from the system and have systems that give us sustenance and we can last, right, while fighting this stuff. I think that's going to happen. So Drunken Ninja put, if you got Prime, there's a couple of shows on Mind Control. I watch Netflix and I have Disney Plus. Like, I'm watching the two most like satanic controlled video things, Netflix and Disney Plus. I have to have Disney Plus. The Mandalorian came out, you know. And you know what? Dude, the new Star Wars movie came out on YouTube Movies, but it's not out on Disney Plus. What the heck is that? What's going on there? Geez Williker. Geez Williker, Mr. Wilson. Yeah. Jared says, man, we don't stand a chance. All these things are supposed to happen and there's nothing that we can do. I wouldn't take the CD vaccine. I mean, things are going to change. Things are going to change and some new systems are going to be built up against this. You know, you heard, I'll play something for you guys next time. The Indian guy that was, I can't remember, but he was the ex-CEO of this thing. He said people, the good people, like Christians and God-loving people, have been thinking about this. They've been knowing that this was coming up for a while. So they're going to be creating new monetary systems, right? And it may not work around the globe, but they'll have certain secret monetary systems of trade that are not tapped into the system, right? So people have been planning, good people have been planning for this, and there's things that we don't even know about that really good people have been doing. So take heart and keep hope, right? My problem with the keeping hope is the like artificial remote neural manipulation making me severely depressed. So things will slip out that are very depressing. If it was me from 2011, I'd be like, we're gonna kill these effers and we're gonna get out there and there's no way we're gonna lose, right? So we've also got to keep in mind that that's also a truth. What we're dealing with is just a lot of artificial depression, right? There's we just gotta keep fighting. Like things are so complicated, we just gotta keep fighting and just like they would try and use our good for their evil, we use their evil for good and strengthening ourselves and helping others. And then that's where God comes in, right? I'm gonna see if there's like some protests in Louisiana. I'd like to film them. Yeah, David Irwin, that's completely correct. Says tech's not to blame, the personnel is. Technology is a neutral tool. It's the people behind, it's the people programming the AI to kill. It's those people. Technology is neutral. Could you imagine if people who loved humanity and were responsible were in control of some of this stuff, There will be, there will be some medical things that come out that are really good for people, but they're built off of the blood and the destroyed brains of a lot of innocent, human beings. It's unthinkable, I can't say that, Wayne. Okay, so Line in the Lamb, what do you think is going to be the chip? The ID 2020? Line in the Lamb says, infinite, don't take it. I would die first. See Wayne Moore's channel with ex-FEMA employee. Terrifying. I've got to go watch that. I watched a bunch of his videos today. Gave him a thumbs up. He's doing really awesome, putting out a lot of stuff. I need to kind of do that every once in a while. Put out like a really like mirror something that's just like I see it and it gives me a lot of information. And I know that some people, I think like maybe someone, I don't remember who said it, but they were saying like I'm seeing videos on one person and then seeing somebody else redo the video, but we really have to do that. Like we need to mirror very important stuff because we need to use this as a communication tool like YouTube. And so maybe you might see it again and you already saw it somewhere else, but there will be people that are on their channel that haven't seen that information. So it's super important, like mirroring videos and stuff like that. Yeah, and Wayne does a lot of original, like edited content too. I want to do something. I'm gonna start I need to start editing because it's gonna be hard at first. I edited in college, but then I haven't in a couple of years, and it's just something that you got to practice. And I had Movavi, and I'm like, there's a free trial thing. But I've got to get something cheap. And so I'm going to try Filmora. Filmora is what Wayne told me to use. I just want to find like I want to get a new camera. I want to do some editing, do some creative stuff, and talk about important information. Talk about the positive stuff. I think that's very important. Like you guys with channels, and that's something like this. I was talking about whatever, Beltane. But like really spreading around the protests and stuff, it like amplifies their work. It amplifies those people who are doing the protests, amplifies the good things, the people saying no, and it can really, attackers are hitting me in the groin. Good thing I have this cod piece. Artist Vel Alien says you must comply. Resistance to our inoculation is futile. Oh wait, yeah, let's end it on that, guys. All right, it's like 10 and I'm getting hit really hard. I love y'all. I'm gonna be we'll do a hangout or something. I've got a couple of things that I want to do. I don't know. I'll definitely do something soon. I love y'all, and check out Wayne Moore's channel, Jeff O, Badger Report. All these guys, you guys put it now. If you got a channel, say, I guess all you guys have channels. I just don't know how many of you guys are making a bunch of videos and stuff. We need to watch this. I need to watch this right now, really bad. Pull it up here. They're going hard with the external hits, which they usually don't do. Like for a while, it's been like focused on remote neural manipulation. They kind of do some extremely low frequencies to the head. It even got too sick because like my body's so worn out. So like to my attackers, it got kind of sick. Like I think they were even feeling like, well, this just isn't for them to get sick about something. It's got to be pretty bad, you know. It's just been so long. It's 2011, the overt stuff, and then I think, you know, I know from like 2000, no, from like 20 years old, I was like, I'm pretty sure I have an implant. Like unless they were doing remote neural manipulation with extremely low frequency waves where I didn't, when I didn't know, like just straight to my vestibular system. Ooh, I have this marked. I have this saved on my computer. It's so good. I wonder if it'll, I hope it's not a, not something I'll get copyright strike for. So you got to play this to end out the stream. It's perfect. Turn up the volume here. It's like 2 minutes and 28 seconds. I don't think this will. Oh man, it probably will get me copyright strike. I'll just edit it out. I'll just edit it out if so, because it's right at the end. So I can do that. If you see my video disappear, guys, it's because of this. And I'll just edit it out later because it's not long. Just do it to the part where he says it. Just go to the part. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Right here. We'll play this part. We'll get it right there. Right there. Yeah. I love that. That's like one of my favorite parts in movies. Kills all the boards. Kills all the boards with that substance that came out of the tube. All right, I just want to show that one part. We want to watch the whole thing. Maybe that'll stop me from getting a copyright strike. All right, guys, I love y'all. Yeah, Tanya, thank you. Thumbs up, everybody, and share this. Subscribe, share. Check out, you know, Wayne's channel. Check out Nicholas Hamblin's channel. Slack TI. I don't know if he has some videos up. Sleeping Beauty. David Irwin. Love you guys. All right. Y'all have a good night. Just let's close it out with a prayer. Let's close it out with a short prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ. Dear Lord, just please cover us all with the blood of Jesus Christ, and just keep us protected in this weird time of the Beltane ritual, and just during the time of this pandemic. Just please strengthen us, give us new and creative ways to fight back, and still be able to have things like a roof over our head, food, and all the things that we need from this world that you provide for us, right? Without, you know, giving into the evil system. Just please give us new and creative ways. Please stop this experimental torture program. Please open other people's eyes during this time to realize how far it goes, and then just help us. Just help us every day. Give us miracles. Every targeted individual out there, just protect them, give them strength, give them ideas, just like give them such a spiritual strength, give them such a peace, and give us all, you know, joy in this world and happiness. Thank you, God, for what you have given us. Thank you for letting us get together. You know, thank you for the simple things in life, sustenance, food, family. Thank you, God. Please just help all good people on this earth. Just help to lift us up, lift our hearts up, lift our lives up. and open some of these evil people's eyes that are, you know, fighting for the other side. Help them to see what it's all going into. Dear Lord, we just trust in your plan always. Just thank you for everything you've given us. Please give us more miracles every day, in the name of Jesus Christ, in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. All right, guys, I love y'all, and with that, we'll say adieu. Yeah, Lion Lamb says, David, yes, trust in God. Trust in God, really endure. Yeah, David Irwin says to really trust in God. That's the point, maybe. I can agree with that. Yeah, gets so bad that we just have to trust in God. You know, gets so complicated. Did you put out a new video, Wayne? I saw a video that you uploaded. Hey, Laura Ann. Laura Ann says, thank you, Kyle. Amen. Amen. Amen, Laura. I hope you're doing good. I just hope you're getting through this, not hurting too much. What so Wayne, you and Badger, I gotta go watch that. So Wayne and the Badger Report, or at the Badger Report, Wayne and Badger had a stream. Rick M says, wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. We got to see what God's new order is, with this new world order from the Satanists coming in. God will also have a new order for all of those people who have good souls, good people. You know. All right, good night, guys. Good night, Wayne. Everybody check out Wayne Moore's channel. I'm going to watch that live stream with you and Badger. Sleeping Beauty, good night. Thank you for coming. Stephen Stacy says, is there any way that we would be able to have a group stream chat? Drunken Ninja has a what's it called? I can't remember the name. I can't, like, literally, he has a thing where you can talk. I'll try and do a hangout maybe soon. I kind of want to put out some, I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys, love y'all. Hey, Bethany, you know, just rewatch. All right, guys, I'm having trouble remembering words right now. So I love y'all, and I'll definitely see you on the next one.